Okay, look at little
So
Butters.
it says we're live. Are we live?
Hello!
Chat, let us know. I'm gonna
Hello!
check on the phone, so I apologize if anybody hears an echo for like a
I
split
see
second.
comments. Hi,
Yeah.
CB. Hi, Matt.
I think something just like a dust or something just went up my nose.
Oh, hi, Butter.
It says we're live. Are we live?
Yeah, babe, we're
My phone
fine.
says
I
we're
got
live.
Butters. Sorry, Cliff was like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm talking.
It's fine.
Yes.
He also may have noticed that Butters has disappeared.
Where'd the dog go that I'm
Oh,
supposed
no.
to be watching?
I lost our daughter.
I have found her. Oh,
I see lots of highs, lots of hi Butters. Yes, Butters is the co-patron of the
Right.
stream tonight. I almost
She's the
spit a piece
assistant.
there was like a little piece stuck in one of my back teeth and I got it out. But I did it while I was talking because I can multitask. And so I almost spit it onto my screen. And I'm like, no peanut particles.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Our patron saint is here. Hello, Artemis. We bow to you.
Also, she's like, she glows, y'all. She is.
She's the savior.
She is the savior. So
we've established backstage that Artemis is the true savior, the one true savior until her divinity has passed. So
exactly.
Right, Butters? Butters is like, I don't glow, but I am chocolatey.
So for everybody who's new and everybody who's new, wait, everybody who's everybody who's been here. Today we're trying a little chat and chill because, you know, Jenna and I, we've had some months, y'all. We've had some months. And so we decided that we're just going to do a stream where it's basically just us fucking around and talking
in our robes.
Yes, in our robes. It's not immediately obvious this is a robe, so I have
This is a robe too, but it's black like my soul, so it blends it.
Right? We're like, yeah, we're gonna do robes, so it's aesthetic. And then we're like, damn it, neither of our robes are like obviously robes.
Right. It needs to be pink and fluffy. We got snacks, we got comfort food. I got pretzels and cookie dough.
But agua because we're both like fatally ill. Yeah. That was an exaggeration, everybody.
Or is it?
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, this morning I felt like it was accurate.
Right. And we got little animals, right? Bubba's hi.
Yeah, Artemis has temporarily left me, but she'll be back.
Okay.
She doesn't like when I pick up other things and show them off. She's like, that's not me. And then she leaves.
She's like, how dare you? How dare you touch things that are not me? Now I got a dog hair in my nose.
But it's funny because like when I'm laying in bed or something, she will like almost never come cuddle. It's only if I'm like sitting at a table or just sitting somewhere. When I'm like laying in bed and stuff, it's usually either Balder Freyr or Eros who come and cuddle. But they won't cuddle if I'm sitting somewhere. So it's just like this.
She's figured it out. She's smart. She was like, this is when I will have no competition. She figured out the market.
You know,
that's a woman right there. Very smart.
Also, for everybody who's new, and as a reminder for those who are not, I have chronic migraines, and I have one today, and therefore the brain fog is strong and may, in fact, result in things such as to those who are new and those who are new. It's fine. It's all we're all laid back here.
But on the plus side, I talk like that without migraines. So who's really winning here? She has an excuse. What's my excuse? That's what we want to know.
Sympathy brain fog. That's what it is.
My brain is just perpetually fogged.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, Butters. Now Butters wants to get down, but if I put her down, she's going to want to play. She's wagging her tail. Can you see her little tail?
I can see the little fluff. She's like, now if I get down, you throw the ball, right, Mom?
Right. Matt says, speaking of reminders, like the stream. Yeah, bitches.
Yes. Like the stream.
Butters would if she had thumbs, but she doesn't, right?
Also, few truer statements have ever been made on my streams.
Migraines are evil, yes.
Now, I guess like later on or toward the end of the stream, if anybody wants to do sprints and Jenna's up for it, we can like host some sprints. I don't guarantee I'm gonna do anything on the sprint other than like eat chocolate, but I'll host them.
That's important.
Yes.
Chocolate eating is a very important part of the daily process.
It actually, like, there's a lot of health benefits to chocolate that are connected to the brain that I cannot remember right now for the aforementioned reasons. But when the kids are like have a lot of homework or had a long day at school, I'll give them chocolate when they do their homework to like help.
Particularly dark chocolate. Yes, it actually has a lot of health benefits.
Gabriel actually loves dark chocolate too, so it's easier for him. The other two are like, this isn't strawberries and cream, and I'm like,
but it could be. Just pretend. Use your imagination.
Just gotta get dark chocolate, strawberries and cream.
Right. Oh, Butters. She wants to play.
I see several people who are like, yeah, I talk like that without migraines too.
Exactly. Fuck.
So really, what nature just gave me migraines to put me on the same playing field is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. There you go.
The world just couldn't handle me.
I saw a funny comment. Oh, Cody wants to know if it's butter size time. No, it's only 5. Butter size is closer to 8. Well, it's 5 for me, guys. I'm in California. Butter size is closer to 8. So we got some time, but she still wants her attention because she's a princess. Whoa. Oh, it's okay.
I would share my chocolate with you. Can you get it through the computer? I'm trying to angle it to not blind everybody.
That was the true purpose of the stream, to blind everyone and
give everybody a headache.
Right, propose world domination one stream at a time. Sam was too powerful.
Yes, I was. Like, let me tell you, before pregnancy and like my migraines got really bad, I had practically had an endemic. What is the word for the memory that like you see something and you never forget it?
I have no fucking idea.
Endemic? Is it endemic? Chat, do you know? Somebody Google for me.
I am looking it up.
Okay.
Okay.
But either way, I didn't.
Endemic, disease or condition regularly found among particular people of a certain area. I don't think that's what you meant.
No, that's in fact totally the wrong. I'm also dyslexic for everybody who doesn't know. So mixing up words, also totally normal. Photographic? Is that the word?
Photographic memory?
Edict.
Like an edict memory?
Yes. EIDETIC. But yes, this one.
I think it's like eidetic. Eidetic. I was close. I got half of it there. Minnie got it. Eidetic memory. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I dictionaried it. So
enough people found it. We're good. Yeah, I had practically that. It wasn't that though, because it didn't function the same way, and it was like more musically connected. Like I would put music on to study and I would forget absolutely nothing. And I could like regurgitate conversations that I had with people word for word from my side and their side.
Jeez.
Which my mother hated. Because I use that against her so often. And my mom has had chronic migraines her whole life, so her memory's just fucked. So so she would be like, I hate it when you get so like specific. And I'm like, what you want me to do, mama? But yes, and then I had pregnancy and migraines, and now it's all like, not anymore, bitch. You don't even remember the end of your sentence. I'm like, the rudeness. It's karma coming after me for what I did to my mama.
Right, Butters? Butters agrees. She's like, you got your karma, bitch. I'm just kidding. We love you.
True said it's pronounced eidetic. Sure.
Someone goes totally pronouncing it wrong. I got one syllable wrong. Calm down.
Look, I will pronounce everything and anything wrong all I want. At me.
Casey wants to know if you're working on a book right now.
I was about to pull that up. Not at this precise moment, but yeah, I am working on a outline for a book series ish. I'm trying to figure out where I want to end book one, and it is called The Silver Air. Is the series name. I don't have a book one title yet because I'm not sure where book one is ending yet. But yes, you can check out my website, samanthallnasset.com. I have information there. But essentially, I have a very nice synopsis and I just can't remember it. So, hold on.
I'm very excited for it personally. I'm very excited. Butters, I put Butters down, and now she just wants. It's everything I predicted. I'm clairvoyant.
Mama knows.
She knows.
Okay,
I see a ball in her line of vision. But yes, I'm very, very excited for the Silver Air.
So I'm a cheat and just.
Here you go, guys. Ask and she shall provide it.
So apparently the working title for book one is To Protect the Shadows. And yeah, Nova spent her life protecting the Viatori princess, knowing one day she would leave Princess Zavrina to rule over her own people, the Relinkoi. With her cousin and protector Liam beside her, she proudly bears the burden of her station without complaint. Save for the occasional monster attack and an unrequited love, their lives have been peaceful, their duties light. However, centuries of peace can only last so long. For the first time in recorded history, their lands have been invaded, the Viatori either captured or on the run, the Relinkoi nearly eradicated, torn between serving her role as Princess Zavrina's protector and the heir to the Relinkoi's throne. Nova decides to demand help from the divine no matter what the cost.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, yes.
I'm here for the sound effects. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh,
So
I'm very excited.
That is what my whip is about. And right now I'm hashing out the romance in it. So I think it's going from a romantic subplot to just a romance because I can't function otherwise, apparently.
Yeah. I know for me it's like, yes, 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 yes. Romance. That's like what I'm here for. So
and I've been sending Jenna like some of the dialogue and stuff. So
my body is ready.
This is relatable.
Same. But for me it's just because of anxiety and mental illness. So no migraines detected, just anxiety, PTSD, all that good stuff. Fucking with my brain.
They all caused like the same issues.
Yeah.
People DMing me on like places how to pronounce it. I don't care. I'll pronounce things how I want. I still say like Mila or Milo note, just depending on my mood that day.
I remember the first time I talked about Patreon, I called it Patreon because patronize can be pronounced patronize or patronize. Mm-hmm. And I got like 50 messages like, it's Patreon. And I'm just like, calm down. Jesus Christ. Like,
see, one of the things for me is also just like accents. There are certain words that I know the correct pronunciation technically, but I have a mixed accent. So sometimes I'm going to say things the Southern way. Sometimes I'll say them a Midwestern way. Other times I sound like I'm coming down from Boston. So it's like, you never know what you're going to get with Sam.
Exactly. No, I can completely relate. I mean, I think you've been there on streams where people were telling me you're pronouncing your last name wrong.
And oh my God, yes.
And then I had to provide an education about how names change through immigration. And so it might have started off that's why names start as like Tobiah and become Tobias. And, that might not be right, but I'm just saying, names change as time goes on and names change through immigration. And I had to fucking justify why my last name is pronounced Moreci and not Moreci. It's like, I know that Moreci is the correct way. No one around here can pronounce it that way. My ancestors changed it. Fuck you.
My oldest says it Moreci though. So
I
think he just like, he likes to roll his R's. So if there's a word that can have R's rolled, he's gonna roll the R. Sometimes even if the word doesn't need the R rolled, he'll still try. Because he
I appreciate it.
like last year he figured out he could do the R, so he's all like he'll do it. It's actually pronounced Jenna.
Janana.
Banana. There we go.
Oh, thank you so much for helping me. I had no idea.
So Fox just like called me out in DM. He's like, sometimes you say the same word 3 different times in the same sentence, or 3 different ways in the same sentence. And I'm like, why you gotta know me like that?
We're just trying our best here, Fox. We're just trying to live.
This is the word now, the Mutt
dialect.
This is what I'm calling it.
I have what is apparently, I took a linguistics class in college, and I have what is known as a California accent. And by that, it means that we don't have, like, to a lot of people in the United States, they wouldn't think of us as having an accent, but the key difference is that all of our vowels are lazy. We have lazy vowels. So basically most of our vowels sound like so that's why people like joke about Californians going bruh instead of bro. We say bruh, you know, and like you know,
to be fair,
I was talking
I also say bruh.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's a lot of words that are supposed to be different, and I was talking about it with my friend who's from London, and I was talking about the difference between haughty and haughty, and as you can hear, I said it with no difference. I don't know if anyone in the comments knows it's like HOTT. Yeah, I can't do that. I try. I'm like haughty.
Let me
like, I don't know.
Let me tell
how
you.
to do it.
Trying to teach your children how to like differentiate vowels when you're Southern, you're all like, oh fuck, what is the difference between an A, you're just like, shit, how do these vowels actually sound?
Right.
So I see someone asking for a TSA update. If you want to give that.
I just finished chapter 5, so I'm about 50 pages in, roughly. And right now I edit as I go. So what I do is I will write a chunk. The next day I will go back, read it, and do a light edit. And then I will keep writing. And I do that for a certain amount of time until I get to a certain point in my Word document. That's the point I'm at right now. As once I finish chapter 5, I am now going back and doing not like a heavy developmental edit, but a much heavier, more specific edit. And that's what I'm on right now. And then once I'm done with that, I will start on chapter 6. I currently, in terms of the edit, I'm on chapter 4. So I'm almost done with editing everything. I've got 2 more chapters and then I move on. I'm so excited because there is sexy times coming up really soon. And that's my driving force is I recently had to do a couple of very difficult chapters and I was like, fuck. But I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a boner soon. Just get through it. The boner's in sight.
I just remember the cock block now. I could not. I just reading the next scene after that, and I'm just like, this scene is supposed to be very, and I'm just very.
Sam Sam is one of my critique partners, and she was reading some of the chapters, and there's like a frisky scene, but it gets cock blocked, and then right after is like a violent scene, and all of her comments on the violent scene are just like about blue balls and drooping dicks, and like, is it a sword or is it a penis? And it made my life.
We went from a cock block to he pointed or thrusted his sword at his neck or something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, I cannot look. Sometimes I'm very mature, and then other times I'm 12.
Now I can't read that scene without seeing like Tobias pointing his dick at this guy's throat, like, tell me why I shouldn't kill you now with my dick. He's gonna dick slap him, just like
the savior's erotica.
Right. The savior's boner. Like instead of TSA, it'll be the savior's anus. I don't know. I don't write that kind of sex scenes. I mean, just the TSB, the savior's boner. Is there an A for something. No, I can't.
Sexual, probably, and I can't think at the moment. So, I saw somebody ask, which I apologize for saying the somebodies. I don't remember anything right now. I saw somebody ask if I am self-published, and see, here's the thing: I was self-published like 9, 10 years ago, almost. I published 2 books, and then I unpublished them. So. No, but I have in the past. And I'm actually doing a video about it at the end of this month. It's called Unpublished. So beyond it's the next one I'm scripting, actually. So look forward to that.
BC Kirk says that TSA stands for the Savior's Arousal. So I think that's
there we go. Go win a cookie. Somebody.
The new title, guys. The Savior's Army? No, the Savior's Arousal.
I'm trying to find a cookie emoji. And I instead of typing it in the search emoji, I just typed it in the text bar, and I'm like, why are the emojis not searching?
Oh, hello, Artemis. She's
yes, right.
She's like, hi there. I see that you stopped touching food, so now you can touch me. Ew, that sounded gross. Sorry.
You may now attend to me, mother.
There we go. Okay, Bethany asked a question. Sam, how you juggle mom and time to write? Okay, so here's the thing. That's what, like, we never introduced ourselves, but oh well, that's fine. I'm writing mom, Samantha Nasset, and like my entire platform is kind of based around momming and writing. So I have made a few videos on this. It's not really a simple answer because the thing is, the biggest piece of advice that I've seen that always stuck with me was there was this author who, when she was asked that, she used this Christmas ornament or glass balls. That's what it was. She used the glass balls analogy. We're going with the word analogy. And it's like, there are different, like in your life, there's a lot of different glass balls, and you have to decide which ones it's okay to let break and which ones are important. So like sometimes you're gonna have to prioritize the momming. You're gonna need to prioritize the momming like 99% of the time when the kids are like babies and toddlers. But then like as they get older, it's okay to like prioritize the writing. I literally took a 5-year break between writing and pursuing my author career. That's what it was. It was like my writing hiatus. It's not that I wasn't writing, because I did. I actually wrote like a character blog, and I would write short stories and flash fictions, one of which, Till Pizza Do Us Part, is on my website, so that I didn't get too rusty, but I was not actively working on my writing career until my youngest started preschool. And then I was like, okay, I can now, they don't need me as much anymore. I can focus on my writing career. And like, I know some people hate that advice because they'll be all like, no, like women can have it both and this and that. And I'm like, yes, but children are tiny humans who rely on you to live. You like, you know, it's not the same. And it's perfectly okay to prioritize your kids and just be a mom until, you know, they move out and leave you and then you're sad. Exactly. That's what, like, people will ask me questions about prioritizing and things like that. And it's like, sometimes you have, like, this obviously is not the same thing as being a parent, but the one I get a lot is I'm in college and I'm struggling to write a book and, you know, maintain my grades. What did you do? And I'm like, I didn't write a book in college. In college, I didn't write shit except for college papers because there was no way I would have the time. And other people may be able to make it work. I couldn't. And I'm not saying that they're doing it wrong or that I'm doing it wrong, but sometimes you have to just stop and say, what is, you know, what are my priorities here? And if the options were write a book and flunk out of college or pass college and get a degree, I was going to prioritize the college one. So I didn't write at the time. Sometimes you have to make a choice about what is your priority and something's got to give. And that's just the way it goes, you know? And I think a lot of people, like a lot, like, and I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert because I ain't never had a kid, but I'll see a lot of people and they're like, oh, I'm pregnant and oh, it's so hard to write because of pregnancy symptoms. But once I have the baby, I'll write more. And I'm just like, okay, like that sounds fake.
One of the things a lot of pregnant women don't understand, because nobody tells you, is that the pregnancy symptoms don't go away just because the baby's left you. Like that's not a thing. You don't just have the baby and suddenly all your pregnancy symptoms are gone, because now your hormones have to rebalance. That your body has to like go out of baby mode, and your body doesn't actually go out of baby mode for like up to, I think it's between 3 to 6 months after you've had the baby. And then by then baby's doing more than just sleeping and pooping. So it's like no, during pregnancy is the best time you're going to get to write before you have the baby. That is when I got my 2 books published, was when I was pregnant. And then the first 6 months Michael was born. And after that, it was just,
I don't see how, once the tiny human that is fully 1000% reliant on me is born, that's when I'll have time to write. I don't see how that mentality like resonates with anyone. To me, it's like, now the tiny human is here and it can't even wipe its own butt. Okay, like you're gonna be doing everything. Like I don't see how that's the mentality like that people are getting. But so I'm always trying to remind people like, you're gonna be busy. Probably.
Part of it's just because nobody wants to talk or tell you like the realities of being a parent. They don't. They only want to talk about it jokingly after the kids are like, older, and it's like, oh yeah, your toddler is like a tiny tyrant and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, for me it actually gets easier as they get older, because I am the tyrant in this house, not my toddler. So but yeah, they don't like Melissa brought up, they don't want to talk about postpartum. They don't want to talk about pregnancy. They don't want to talk about what it actually does to you, about how there are several medical problems you can have during pregnancy that may or may not stay with you after, such as gestational diabetes. That could be temporary or it could be permanent. And nobody wants to talk about that, because then it makes having a baby a lot less appealing. But I came from a big family where we do talk about a lot of that. And it's still just like, you will never be fully prepared for when it happens. I don't care how many babies you've helped raise. I helped raise like 12 plus. So, and I still wasn't fully prepared for my first one. So it's just like.
Yeah, what were we saying?
I was like adding the, and then trying to add a book onto that. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, obviously this is not the same, and I will never pretend that it is. But when Cliff broke his spine, he was temporarily paralyzed and was going to need a ton of occupational and physical therapy to relearn to walk, and was going to need round-the-clock care. And whenever someone has a serious injury like that, they get a whole team to, train caregiver, which was me, and the social workers and things like that. And the social worker, they'll be very positive and uplifting to Cliff, because it statistically injured people who have a very good attitude about everything heal better. So they will say everything positive to him, but then they will pull me aside and be like, okay, bitch, listen up. This is the truth, So I got all the negative, and the social worker pulled me aside and they're like, okay, so you're going to be his caregiver. And then they started like grilling me. They're like, just so you know, it's not the same work by any means, but it's going to be the equivalent in terms of workload as having an ill infant. Like you just had a baby and the baby's very sick. They're like, it's going to be the equivalent amount of workload, in the sense that you're not going to get to sleep. You're not going to get to take care of yourself. It's always going to be round the clock care. And so and I slept maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours a night. I got to shower like twice a week. I was gross. Like I was fucking gnarly. I ate like one meal a day, and sometimes it was just like chips, and I was, like working my ass off and everything, and I was very, very tired. And my break was when I would get to do my laundry, so whenever, I mean, obviously it's not the same as having a kid, I didn't have to change diapers or anything like that.
No, but it is very comparable, because even like today, or when was it? It was like yesterday, the day before, either way, I'll like message Jenna. I'll be like, oh my God, I haven't brushed my hair in like a week. And Jenna's like, girl, same. So like we'll just have days like that where it's, even though like I'm caretaking, 3 kids and Jenna's caretaking Cliff, we will still like have an almost parallel level of ups and downs and personal negligence issues because of it. And then like, she'll be like, girl, go get a bowl of spaghetti. And I'm like, girl, go get tacos.
Yeah.
So.
and now obviously Cliff has, it was a lot worse when he first got injured, but now he has since relearned to walk. He is only paralyzed in his foot. He's doing a lot better, but now he suffers from chronic pain, which keeps him bedridden a lot of the time. So I don't have to do as much work as I used to have to do, but it's not, it's stressful and it's hard seeing someone suffering all the time. And sometimes, like I remember casually mentioning in one of my streams that I was eating for the first time that day, and it was 6 p.m. And a lot of people, I know they meant well, were like chastising me in the comments, like, girl, take better care of yourself. And I'm just like, bitch, like imagine saying that to a caregiver, take better care of yourself. It's like, right. It's like, you have no idea. Like they're like, self-care, take a bubble bath. I'm like, you fucking have no idea. Like, why don't you come over here and take over, some of the shit I gotta do, and then I will take a bubble bath. Like, you don't understand. Obviously, I would be taking better care of myself if I could. Like, it's not like it's not like I was like, I just want to wait to eat until 6 p.m.
It's like, look, I like me. I like taking care of me. Okay, if it was an option, don't you think I would have?
Right. So, like this wasn't a choice.
So just to address this comment and comments like this, I have helped raise 12 plus people. My youngest cousin is 15 right now. Literally, I know. I seen the end of the book. I call my mom. I'm 30, and I call my mama sometimes, and I'm like, Mama, my migraine is just, can you come help me with the kids? It don't even stop when they're 18. You did. So like, I don't know. Spoiler alert. Right. It don't stop when they're 18.
Yeah. It's just funny when you get comments like that, and it's like, we've been new. We've been new. So yeah. It's like it kind of reminds me when Cliff is having a pain bout and someone's like, have you tried acetaminophen? For those who don't know, that's Tylenol. Like, oh, have I? I didn't consider.
Have I tried Tylenol? No. There was, oh yes, also this one and this one, definitely, I get that. Like, my sleep schedules right now are still, I was talking to Jenna at like 3 or 4 this morning, which was 2 or 1 your time, I think. And I'm just like, girl, Chris reminded me that I have to get up with the kids in the morning. And I'm like, guess I'm going to be tired, because I just cannot fall asleep before then. Just Cliff had
a 9:30 doctor appointment recently. Okay, 9:30 is not even early for most people, but keep in mind that I normally go to bed at like 4, so 9:30 to me is early. And so I was like, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna go to bed early. I'm gonna go to bed at midnight, which is still not early to a lot of people, but that's might as well be daylight for me. And I just laid in bed. And I laid there for fucking 2 hours. And at 2 a.m. I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to bed. I'm just going to be tired for this appointment. And I just got up and I started doing work. And then I got like 3 hours of sleep. And I was at the appointment like, this is just how it's got to be. Sorry.
Jenna will sometimes send me messages. It's like, I'm going to try to go back to sleep. Or I'm going to try to go to sleep. But if I come back, You know it did not happen.
Right, you know I failed.
Well, I hope I don't see you again
Right.
today, but good luck.
And then sometimes I come back and I'm like, look at this funny meme because I've been on Instagram for like 2 hours. Just like,
right. That, or I'll send her something and she'll respond to it, and I'm like, that you was going to sleep.
It didn't work. It didn't. We don't need sleep, right? Cyborgs don't need sleep. Butters is asleep. Lucky bitch.
Yep, gotta squeeze it in where you can when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I topic jump, just for everybody who doesn't know. So
That's
1
fine.
second, we're just boo. She's used to me, so
Yeah. Well, that's how I am, so I appreciate it.
we're used to each other. Candy said, preach, I care for both my husband and my mom. Self-care for me is often the ice cream variety, and I have no regrets. Oh, love that.
Regrets. Sorry, I'm getting blown up on Discord.
The earliest I go to bed is 3 a.m, so I feel you. Yeah! Look, if the world was just like, here are the stores for the early birds, here's the stores for the night owls, we'd be good. We'd be fine. But no,
yeah, that's my problem with shopping. Like, it's like I just want I want to be able to shop at midnight. Like, why is this such a problem everywhere? And then obviously I online shop, but a lot of sales end at 9 p.m. my time. Bitches.
Motherfuckers. All right. There was something I was going to respond to. I got to find it again.
Wait, you guys get to go to sleep? No, Steve.
No. Steve, that is a falsehood all the time.
Lies, treachery.
Steve be like, hey, Sam, so did you get up or are you going to bed? And I'm like, I feel attacked right now. But I haven't slept yet, so.
Neither. I am perpetually awake and dead inside.
The perpetually exhausted pigeon.
Yeah. I consider myself.
Insomnia, PTSD will do that.
Right. I know. I'll be like talking to someone like, I'm such a night owl. I go to bed at midnight, and I'm like, bitch, hold my beer.
Right. Chris, I love my husband, but sometimes he's all like, he'll be like, I'm not a morning person, or I'm not an early bird, because he is a little grumpy when he first gets up. Like, do not talk to that man for a half hour when he first gets up. And I'm like, sir, you get tired at 11. You are not a night owl. And he's just like,
he just wants to join the club.
So sometimes he'll stay up until 2 a.m, but that's just because that's when we get time together, is when we're watching stuff between midnight and 2 a.m. But that's it. And I'm like, I respect and appreciate your sacrifice, but label yourself appropriately.
Yeah, it's funny because Cliff will usually go to bed earlier than me, obviously, unless he's having really severe. If he's having really severe pain, I purposely try to stay up because I don't want him to suffer by himself. So I'll try and stay up, and then I usually end up falling asleep before him, but it'll be at 5 a.m. But if he's not having a severe pain day, he usually goes to bed before me, and Cliff talks in his sleep a lot. And so I will be there chronicling everything he's saying, and then I text it to him, and the next morning he'll be like, what is this? And I'm like, it's you. It's the things that you said. And then one time he sat up in his sleep, eyes closed, sat up, leaned into me and whispered poo-poo pies in my ear. So
it's kind of funny because I'm in my relationship, I am the one with the chronic illness. So Chris is not a full-time caregiver, but he definitely has to do that sometimes. And if I'm having a really bad migraine or flare-up or anything, and he'll be like, I'm staying up with you, babe. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. You can be out in 2 minutes. And I kid you not, 10 seconds later, he's snoring. And I'm like, it's so precious. But
the thought counts. The thought counts.
That's what matters. So, you talked about prioritizing things with kids. I don't have kids, but I have a younger sister, and I always feel guilty saying no to her. So I get nothing of my own done. Advice on saying no sometimes. For one, like, how old is your little sister? Because that's an important factor here. But I really just explain to my kids what I'm doing. And like, if they throw a tantrum or anything, I get annoyed at their tantrum, so I don't feel bad about it. But when I lived at home, because I grew up with two sisters, and like, I'm 5 and 6 years older than both of them. And so sometimes I definitely like spent more time with them than I did like schoolwork or writing or anything like that. But you just have to learn to say no and to put up those boundaries, and that's just it. Over time, you feel less guilty about it. Sometimes you'll always feel guilty about it, especially if they're understanding. That is like the worst for me. Because like, if they throw a fit or if they get mad at me or something, I'm a very rebellious soul, so I'll just be like, this is important, how dare you be so selfish. But like, when I tell my kids that, like, mommy needs to write a script right now, and they're just like, oh, okay, and like go away so sad, I'm like, I am the worst mother in the world. But I have to get my script done, and then I just make it up to them afterwards. So
this is not, obviously, like, I'm not a parent, but I do have family. I
yeah,
I am related to people genetically. And
nice.
what I do is I don't write every single day. Even, I am a full-time author, but being an author is a business. So some of my days are for accounting, some of my days are for marketing, but I try to write at least 3 days a week. And when I have those 3 days a week, unless something like emergency style happens, like Cliff is having a severe CRPS attack, those are my writing days, and they're not going to change. So if you schedule certain days a week that are your writing days, I mean, again, depending on the age of your sister, she's going to understand. It's kind of like, these are the days of the week that are for school. These are the days of the week that are for the weekend. These are the days where, the family goes here, and you just schedule, you keep a routine, and she can understand this is your writing time. And, boundaries exist in the world. All human beings have to learn boundaries, so she can eventually learn your boundaries for writing. I used to call them my fuck off days, but if she's a little kid, maybe don't call it that to her. This is my fuck off day, so fuck off. Yeah, I could do that. I could get away with that because my family's all adults. So
you two are me in college. This is just how I've been since I was 5.
Right.
I'm not exaggerating. I hated bedtime because my mom would be like, it's 9 o'clock and it's time to go to bed, and I would lay there until 3 in the morning.
I'm not tired. Yeah. This is just my natural form.
Yeah. And so like, starting in middle school, my mom was just like, whatever time you can go to bed and get yourself up in the morning, you can go to bed. And I was like, this is the best bedtime ever. And that's just like how I function now. I'm like, it works for me. I'm scrolling through things a bit. My roommate sat straight up, eyes wide open, and said, and that's why he's the worst person. Some intense dreams.
She was talking about a cat or a parrot or something. That's because that's how dreams always go. Casey goes, except for Jenna's niece, who isn't an adult. I mean, I was talking about like when I was living with my parents.
Here's
she didn't exist then.
She's like 1.
2.
2. Sorry.
Double.
She's 2. That's right. So she hasn't been around for like the majority of Jenna's career.
I've been doing this since I was 27. Well, in terms of a career, I've been writing since I was 6.
Ironically, she swears more than I do. I mean, then it's perfectly fine to tell her this is my fuck off.
Right.
In my opinion, anyway.
She understands.
She just
it's her
turned
language.
12. I'm getting better as I communicate with. Yeah, she's 12. She definitely is old enough to understand and to get it.
She's 12. Boundaries are
normal. To be held accountable for tantrums.
Right.
Then again, I feel 5-year-olds are old enough to be held accountable for their whole tantrums. So. Oh my gosh, I hate so. Side tangent here. I always side-eye my friends who have kids that are like older than 1.5, and they're like, well, I can't punish my child or like reprimand them in any way because they're too little. And I'm like, your child is old enough to talk back to you. Your child is old enough to learn respect. That's just how I live my life. So that was just a thing I remembered.
I mean, eventually they'll just learn bad habits, so you gotta nip it in the bud.
Exactly. And like Gabriel, ever since he was 3, because he used to have like a very violent temper. And so like, I don't know, he was like 2.5, and I was just like, baby, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be explosively angry. But what you need to do is go in that corner and be angry over there until you're done being angry. And so that's what he'll do now. Only like sometimes he'll try to like run off when I'm in the middle of talking to him so that he can do that. And I'm like, no, we ain't done yet. You can go be angry when we're done. So it's like a fine line that you gotta teach him, because he's old enough now to sit through the whole conversation and then go be mad.
Oh, my little Gemini, my little vampire.
It works really well for him though, because he will like go off and be angry and then just come back and be fine. And like he'll apologize, or he'll fess up, or he'll just understand, or he'll just want a hug. And it's just like,
oh, I'll give you a hug, little vampire. I'll give you a hug.
It's like, mommy is also a volcano, so she understands.
She can.
And then like Roxy's just fascinating and weird at the same time, because she'll like ask you for help and then she'll be like, no, let me do it. And then she's like, look, I did it. And you're like, did you do that all on your own?
Oh man, that's very Sagittarius of her.
Yes.
Help me. Don't help me. Do it for me. I did it.
We're working on getting her to control the tone though, because it's like you could say no in a nicer tone, and so she'll like backtrack a bit. But yeah.
No with the heart. No.
Yeah, say no with a heart, Roxy. That's all you gotta do. My oldest though, we could like get into, if he feels he is slighted, he will hold on to that for days. And you're like, child, it happened 2 days ago. You already like made up with your sibling. Why are you still bringing it up? He's an Aries? Libra. No, he's a Libra.
Why did I think who was an Aries?
Tabby. And
I knew.
And my other sister. And
a Libra.
I'm surrounded by Aries.
Right.
But no. That's actually, for me, that's something that a lot of people don't know about Libras, but I've known enough Libras to know that they are actually really big grudge holders. Like, if you have hurt their feelings or slighted them, they will like be hurt for weeks. And it's like, I said I thought we were done now.
I find that the like, can we all just get along thing is sort of like not a front, but like that's the surface level, and internally it's different.
Yes.
It's, can we all just get along if it's someone else's problem, but if it's their own problem.
Right? It's like, look, I hurt your feelings like 4 weeks ago. I said I was sorry. Like, let's just move on. It's like, but you didn't say you were sorry. And then, but like, you say you're sorry. And they're like, look, it's been 5 years and I know you've apologized and made up for it, but still.
But still, that's the phrase, the Libra phrase, but still. Someone asked someone asked a writing question. Casey asked, do you get angry at your characters or is it just me? I don't get angry at my character.
To click on it.
Oh, it was up further.
Uh-huh. There we go.
I don't get angry at my characters because I made them up and they're not real.
So here's the thing. I am a god. I control them. They do what I desire them to do. And I feel like for me, it would be a little silly for me to get mad at my characters for doing what I told them to do. But that's how I perceive it because I'm a megalomaniac, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't understand. I never get it when people talk about their characters like they're actual people. Like, I get it when readers experience that. But for
That means I
me,
did my job.
right, exactly. But for me, yes, like I'm very emotionally attached to my characters and I have a strong connection to them, but I'm also like very aware that I made them up and that I'm making them to do the things that I want them to do. So I never get mad at my characters because it's like, you're doing what I wrote. I made it. If I'm going to be mad at anyone, it's going to be me. Like, I just don't, that's not something I can relate to.
It could also just be a side effect of the fact that you and I have literally been writing stories since we were like 5. Like,
Right.
my mom has little books that I made in school in her closet to this day. So it's like we got like 20 plus years technically of storytelling experience. See, so it's like
this is from like the 7th grade in gold jelly pen because you know, it was 2000. Oh, look, I drew a princess.
Well, you know, my crate of such writings is in my bedroom, not readily available.
I just have this here.
I love it though that yours is right there.
Here's an eyeball. I just have this here because I hate wasting paper and there's still paper in this notebook. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, next time I need a notebook, I will use this because I don't want to waste the paper. Not sentimental in any way.
Oh, I'm just like, you know what? These plot ideas may have some merit. So I just like stick them in a crate to look at later. And I've thrown out a few because I'm like, no, not this one. I love all the Libras in chat going, yes.
Yeah.
That is how we are.
At least they admit it, you know? And I love Candy. I love Candy going, how dare you do what I told you to do? Like, I just don't understand, like, when people talk about it, like, they'll do things, and I'm just like, why? It's like, you fucking wrote it with your hands. Like, what were you possessed? Like, you knew, you did it. I don't get it. But I'm pedantic and logical to a fault, so I'm that bitch.
So am I. Represent.
Not a Virgo, but an Aquarius, and we're assholes.
You raised by one. You're an
I was raised by a Virgo, so I'm like Aquarius, Virgo adjacent.
I'm an Aquarius who, like, I grew up in a 3-gen home, so my mother's parents lived with us my entire life, and they are both Virgos. So, like, I'm a super Virgo.
Yeah, it's funny because my chart is literally like, you know, your 3 main signs. I forget what they are, like sun, moon, and like Mercury. I can't remember anything. But mine are Aquarius, also Aquarius. It's like, this is my final form.
Mine is Virgo, and then a fire sign, and then another earth sign. So I feel like that explains why I'm a volcano.
Exactly! You're just like coming out of the ground. Butters is so uninterested. She's just like cuddling. I put her on the laundry. And she's just snuggled up. Oh, hi! Did I interrupt your snooze?
So my mother is a weird mix of not sentimental, but also a sentimental hoarder in a way. So there's some things that she kept from my childhood that, like, there was this weird practical side of her that was like, I'm gonna want these when my children are older, but at the time she didn't actually like care. But now that I am older and she's like, my baby's all grown up and left me and these are her little books, and I'm like, she had some weird foresight she'd be sentimental in her older age.
That's so funny. My mom is like the opposite. She saved everything, and then when I got older, she's like, oh, I got all this crap. Like,
you want it now?
Do you want it, or should I throw it away? And then I'll be like years later, I'll be like, Mom, do you have my XYZ? She's like, no, I threw it away. And I'm like,
but you said,
how could you? How could you? Oh man, moms can't live with them. Can't live without them. Butters is looking at me.
She's like, that's right. I cannot live without you, mother.
Or does she have deceit in her eyes?
Dun dun dun.
Jessie also loves that I'm muting myself to chew. I appreciate it. Go. Sorry.
You're fine. I was just gonna be like, also known as the best earth sign. That was all.
Agreed.
So I see a lot of parents saying like my mom is a Sagittarius and my dad is a Leo. So I was raised by a Leo, Sagittarius, 2 Virgos.
Fiery,
Yes.
fiery.
Literally Leo, Sagittarius, and 2 Aries is my parents and my 2 sisters. And then me, the Virgo.
My family has one of each sign, like one of each element, I mean. So my mom's the earth sign, she's the Virgo. I'm Aquarius, so I'm the air sign. My dad's a Leo, so he's the fire sign, and my sister is Cancer, so she is the water sign. So we've got Captain Planet.
I think, do we have all of the signs in R5 now? Libra's air, right? So Libra's air.
Yeah.
What is Gemini?
Air.
That's also air. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've got 2 airs, and then Roxy's the fire, Chris is water, and I'm earth.
Jade asked a good question. She goes, I'm a Gemini and I have a twin, and I don't understand why literally everyone thinks we're two-faced. A lot of signs have really bad reputations that are mostly come from misconceptions, or like all signs, they have their worst like traits, and not everyone gets the worst traits, just like not everyone gets the best. Or it's kind of like, this is what you could be if you were an absolute piece of shit. Geminis are indecisive and fickle. Gemini is my favorite sign, for what it's worth. Layla's a Gemini. Cliff is a Gemini. I love Geminis. I think they are so much fun. And one of the things I love about them is that they are kind of indecisive and fickle. I actually think it's really adorable. So they're the kind of person who like for example, if you take Cliff to a library, he's the one who's going all over, like, I want this book, I want that book, what about this one, what about that? Like, I think that's cute.
I think whimsical is another word that could be used instead of indecisive and fickle. And that's the other thing. A lot of times with like the signs and stuff, you'll get, or the really surface level like books or horoscopes and stuff, you'll get, oh, well, here are their positive traits and here are their negative traits. And I really disagree with separating them that way, because like, for example, with Virgo, it's like positive trait analytical, negative trait critical. But
critical is not necessarily a bad thing, you know.
And analytical is not necessarily a good thing either, because it leads to the overthinking a lot of the times. But what it really boils down to is that Virgos are observant and pattern oriented, and they take notice of things that other people just don't. But like when you point it out to them, other people will be like, oh, hey, yeah, I didn't even notice that. And so like, yeah, Virgo gets a really bad rep for just like criticizing everybody and stuff. And part of it is that Virgos criticize themselves, and it's like, oh, hey, I want to be a better version of me. Let me like help my friends be better versions of them. And other people don't necessarily care for that.
Right. That's the thing, is a lot of people don't realize is Virgos are extremely not insecure, but they are constantly like they kind of remind me of me in the sense where it's like they are over analyzing everything that they're doing, and they're trying to improve themselves, and they think everyone else is the same way, and not everyone else is the same way, and not everyone else appreciates that kind of level attention to detail. And some Virgos get that and some don't. And so that's kind of like where things kind of play in. So like with Geminis, I see them as fickle and cute and, like you said, whimsical. But if that trait is amped up to the nth degree and it's on the worst side of things, it could be two-faced, because a Gemini could be someone who today likes you and the next day doesn't, because that's what indecision is in its worst form. But like I'm engaged to a Gemini, and the worst I've seen of it is he'll be like, you know what, we should go out and like get pizza and like have fun. And this is back before, you know, COVID and everything. I'd be like, okay, let me get ready. And then I'd be in the middle of getting ready, and he'd be like, you know, I feel like staying in. And I'd be like, like, what the fuck, you know? But you know,
my face is on.
Right. We're leaving the house. Like we already made the decision, you know? So that's kind of like the worst I've experienced, and that can be a little annoying. But But I like Geminis, like overall, when they're, you know, not the worst version. Like every sign has a worst version. And in general, there are a lot of signs that I found have negative reps, and they tend to be the signs that I like the most. And the signs that have very positive reps are the signs that I don't usually like. And I'm like, why do they have such a good rep? This sign sucks. So if you want me to get into that, I will, but people go and be pissed in the comments.
So going with the Gemini, my middle child is a Gemini, and he's like very similarly with the like flip-flopping, whimsical two-facedness, is that, you know, Thursday we're like, yeah, we're gonna go to the zoo tomorrow, and he's like, yeah, let's go. And then tomorrow comes and he's like, I want to stay home. But then like I know that if once he gets to the zoo, it's gonna flip the other way, and he's gonna be like, yeah, zoo. And then an hour into the zoo, he's like, can we leave now? So it's just, but it's also, if you know that they're like that, you can work with it, because it's like, okay, we're not going to spend a lot of time at the zoo, but we're going to have enough time to be fun at the zoo. Or like also give them an out. Like for Gabriel, when we were going to go trick-or-treating and he was like scared, it's like, okay, well, mommy will go home with you early so that like your brother and sister can stay out later, but we will still have fun and go home early. And then they like that compromise and stuff. So it's really just about working with people in general and knowing how they are.
Exactly. And like I said, that was kind of one of the things that was appealing to me about Cliff, is that for me, I'm an introvert. I'm not a very adventurous person. I'm you know, on the ASD spectrum, and I like to plan and have a routine. And I mean, he respects that, and like we kind of compromise in that way, but being with him would offer some sense of adventure, because he changes his mind a lot, and he will be like in a whim, you know, like, hey, what about this, you know? And sometimes, you know, it was nice to, you know, kind of go with that, and it was refreshing, and it was, you know, I just think it's cute. I think it's cute and sweet and whimsical and fun. Exactly. I like my Geminis, and Layla's the same way. She will be, you know, huffy and mad one second, and then happy and flirty the next.
Feels so familiar. I'm like, wait a second, she is like Gabriel.
Yeah, she's her Gemini-ness is my favorite thing to write about her. Is like 1 minute she's like stab, stab, stab. The next minute she's like, oh, boys, abs, wee. And the next minute she's like, kill a senator. I love it. I just love it. I promise Cliff has never stabbed. That's not a specific Gemini thing.
I wouldn't judge him if he had. I mean, what? So just the Virgo love here. And yes, we are. That's one of the things about the fact that we're like observant and pattern oriented. We will remember the little details about you that you thought that we never knew. Mm-hmm. I like do that to my friends all the time. I'd be like, oh, hey, you liked this thing. And they're like, I mentioned that like one time 3 years ago. And I'm like, it was important.
Yep. Have a Virgo mom, can relate. I mean, well, this is where a Virgo and Aquarian can clash, because Virgos remember everything and Aquarians are like master debaters, not masturbators. I mean, we could be, but master debaters. So when a Virgo and an Aquarian fight, it could go on for fucking ever. And so my mom will remember all the details. She's got it fact checked, but I know how to twist it. And so we would fight for ages, and it would just, you know, and then eventually someone has to decide, is this worth it? What are we even fighting about anymore? It's been 5 years, you know? I can't remember. It's been 84 years.
I love that. That's me and Michael, but like because I am his mom and I'm raising him, I'm like, I have to outlast him. Like we've literally had an argument that just went on for like 6 hours of just me being like, no, Michael, we're done. And then like 30 minutes later, he'll be like, okay, but, and I'm like, Michael, I said it's done. So,
but no.
For the record, I loved him, and he is like the sweetest child ever. And anytime I have a migraine, and I'm like, Michael, can you get mommy her like migraine pills? He'll be like, yeah, I'll go get you the green bottle. So like, he is the sweetest. This is literally, I think, his only negative trait. And I can't even be mad at it because I'm convinced he inherited it from me. So I'm like, so everybody knows.
Now everyone wants to know about signs in the comments.
So, what is Pippa's sign? I think she's the only one I don't remember.
Pippa is a Pisces. I'm sorry, Pippa, that I did that to you. Sorry, everyone. Not sorry. Cosima is a Cancer, and they're all water signs. Pippa's a Pisces, Cosima is a Cancer, and Delphi is a Scorpio.
Which Scorpio is another one that gets a really bad rep, but
Scorpio's another one that gets a bad rep.
Scorpios.
Scorpio is my favorite water sign by a landslide. By a landslide, Scorpio is my favorite. So I don't get it. I mean, like, I get it, but I don't get it.
One of the things I've always appreciated about Scorpios, and of course this is a generalization, but is that Scorpios do want to be like the best versions of themselves. So like as a Virgo, I can tell like my husband when I think he's messing up or something, and while he will initially be not appreciative of it, after, you know, like he feels his feels and everything, he'll just be like, okay, but how do I do better? And I'm just like, this is Scorpio is your true love match, Virgos. I'm just saying, there's the one sign. And
it actually is a good match for Virgos. So.
And because they are so passionate, they like put their heart into whatever it is, whether it be like romance or writing or whatever. They very like they love Virgo enough to forgive them. is how I see it.
The way I see it with Scorpios is that they are a sign that a lot of people don't like because, well, a lot of people say they're crazy. That is not something that I have personally experienced with Scorpios, but Scorpios are ones that can be hard to read because they are not the best verbal communicators, but I found that they are great action-based communicators. Yes. You can see how they care and how they feel based on the things that they do. And that to me is what makes them kind of stand out, because I appreciate, I mean, some Virgos, I'm not saying all Virgos are terrible communicators, but I've noticed at least when it comes to like romance and stuff, yeah, at least when it comes to romance and stuff, they're the ones who probably aren't going to tell you how they feel, but you will see how they feel based on how they treat you and the actions. And I'm more of an actions speak louder than words person, so I appreciate that about Scorpio personally.
Yes, Virgos in general. It's because
Scorpios are Virgos.
Virgos can be horrible communicators because we're a little too precise in our.
Did I say Virgos? I meant Scorpios.
No, you said Scorpios, okay. But no, for me, I think both can be bad verbal communicators, and the reason is because Virgo's a little too analytical with emotion. Sometimes it's all like, yes, well, my feelings are hurt because of A, B, C. And a lot of people will feel very attacked by this and immediately get defensive. And it's all like, you have to learn a level of sugarcoating, like pulling it back a bit. And like, but for me, I'm like more action based as well. And that's why I love Scorpios. And Scorpios do tend to not be everything that you said. So.
I know, I'm the star mistress. I know everything.
You are. So I want to share a thing real quick before we continue, because apparently Fox was having fun. And hold on. I've got to.
Oh my God! Just leave that. Just leave it. It's perfect. So here's the thing. Oh my God.
So here's the thing. Oh my God. Yes, Fox. I need to put that on a t-shirt.
I love Steve. All the Scorpios I know are amazing people, so I guess you just hang with the wrong crowd. Yeah, like there are good and bad apples in every sign, and to generalize an entire sign as they're all crap, it's kind of like.
Let me tell you, if my husband ever cheated on me, he'd probably just die of shame and horror. He'd just be like, I can't look at her ever again, and just die right there.
Geminis are my favorite sign. and I can think of quite a few Geminis who are like, "Ugh," there's gonna be the good apples and the bad apples.
Also, that man cannot like be mad at me for more than 10 seconds, and that's it. Which like was a good thing for me, because I used to have like this really aggressive and mean temper, but like he never fought back in an argument, and I'm like, no, we can't do that. So
oh man, Matt is appreciating your "he probably just died." Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
oh wait, that's not the one. Yeah, I mean it's true though. we like that's one reason I will never worry about it. I'll like give him shit sometimes when he like texts somebody from work or something and they had like a female name, and I'd be like, oh, who that your work wife? And he's like, please, you want me to delete the number right now? And like the thing is, he would, even though I'm just joking with him,
Right.
he would 100% just delete the number right then and there and block him. He's like, no, the most devoted person ever.
Steve, I'm hesitant to admit, but there's even shitty Capricorns out there, believe it or not.
I mean, I can think of some shitty Virgos too.
Yeah, I can definitely think of shitty Aquarians, man. And CB wants to know, what are the Capricorn traits? This is hard for me because with most signs, I know their worst traits first, and it's just going to sound like I'm being a dick. But it's just okay. Capricorns. Okay, Capricorns come off tough in some way. I don't necessarily mean like her tough, but it could be like abrasive, or there's some kind of some kind of a barrier wall of some kind. And then you get to know them and they're mushy gushy. And, why are you laughing?
I think that's in response to my shitty Virgos exist.
Oh.
And if I'm wrong,
like, what?
correct me. No, sorry. I'm reading some of the comments while you talk.
But yeah, they tend to like be like, yeah, I don't take any shit. Like they put up this wall, but then if you get to know them, they're like, heart flutters. That's at least from my experience. Most people will tell you Capricorns are just, but I'm an Aquarius. I dig deeper, guys. Okay, so I see the gush and the mush for what it is.
They hide their hurt behind humor too, like the bravado comedy, especially like critical or dark comedy, is their security blanket.
Yes, very much so. I dated a Capricorn, so I fell in love with his humor, and then I got to know him. And this is okay. This is
the Capricorn. Either way, it was hilarious.
This is not a dig at Capricorns, like they're all like this, but just having dated one who was on the like end of the spectrum. He was so funny and charming and just like seemed like a cool guy. And then I got to know him, and he had like all the like, oh, my family never loved me stuff came out, and I'm like, oh, I didn't sign up for this level of weeping. But yeah, like, and that's my opinion is not colored by this. That was eons ago. But I'm just saying, like, they do tend to have the humor or some kind of toughness front. For an example of a toughness front, Drake from the Savior series is a Capricorn. Tobias and Naomi are also Capricorn Aquarius cusps. They're more so leaning into the Aquarius front, but you can see a little bit of the Capricorn in Tobias, the wit and charm and deflecting with jokes. He does that a lot when he doesn't really want to talk about serious shit, like when he was talking to Naomi and he starts cracking jokes with her because he doesn't want to he doesn't want to admit the way he's feeling about her situation. Capricorns,
I love that about him. It's one of my favorite things.
Thank you. Capricorns at their worst can kind of be the mean girl zodiac sign. At the best, they are probably one of the most hardworking signs there is. They're the kind that they're fucking hauling ass and they're doing the work. They don't always work smarter, but they do always work harder. That's what I would say. And they're very grounded, nose to the grindstone kind of situation. Tell me if I've missed anything. I'm sure there's a ton that I missed.
Not that I can think of. I have two friends who are Capricorns who did not know a lot about the zodiac, and when I described what Capricorns were to both of them, I was like, and hides their hurt and insecurities behind humor and stuff. And both of them were like, I feel so called out and attacked by you right
Right?
now. And I'm like,
But that's
you
what
know,
people love that. And then you talk to people and like, no, Capricorns are so like rock solid and stuff, and it's like, that's because you haven't dig deeper with them, and then you will see the layer underneath. Like this one Capricorn we know, he's like a super tough guy, drives a truck, all that stuff, like, I want to be a fireman, that kind of guy. And he loves Hallmark movies and just sits and sobs like a baby. And you only know that if you know him, that he'll pull it on Hallmark and just be like, they should get together. I just want them to be happy, damn it.
So somebody said, how is it possible that my Capricorn uncle... So here's the thing. It's just kind of like, while there's a lot of... My brain has died.
Also, quiet and soft, that's I never said they were loud, and I did say they're like kind of a hard exterior, but they're not. Yeah, I know plenty of quiet Capricorns, but continue.
The zodiac, like, largely is a thing where it's like, okay, so all Virgos are probably have some combination of these traits, but like our personalities could be drastically different. For example, like my two sisters, they are a year and a day apart. They're both Aries, but like, and if you tell either one of them you have to do something, neither of them are going to want to do it. And they may, in fact, do the opposite just to do it. They're very stubborn and very argumentative. However, the older one is more like willing to argue with you. She's more willing to go head to head because she's very outward with her emotions, and she's all like, yeah, let's just get it out in the open, let's get it done now, because she doesn't want to dwell on it. She doesn't want it to like hang, because she knows that she's a grudge holder, and she's like, I ain't got time to be mad. So she'd rather just like get it out, get the grudge over with, and move on. My baby sister, she'll hold on to that bitch. You won't know she mad at you for a while, and then she'll like talk to you about it, and the argument will be almost like in the same flow as the other one, but like one is confrontational, or one is okay with being confrontational, and the other one is not okay with being confrontational. So it's like that's an example of how you have the same trait, but it's 180.
Right. Also, I think people forget that there's the sun sign, there's the moon sign, that you have several different signs, and they all represent a different aspect of your personality and how it presents itself. I don't know the specifics because mine are all Aquarius, so it don't matter. I need to research because it's all the same shit. But one is how you truly are at your core. One is how you present yourself to the outside world. And so if you are a different, one of the signs is different, you may be an Aries at your core, but you present yourself more like a Cancer, but that how we present ourselves doesn't always line up to how we really feel about things, so
for example, me being like blunt and pragmatic and very open and everything is not unique to me of Virgos, but me being confrontational and in your face is very much not a like normal Virgo thing, and is probably derived from the fire sign that is one of my three main, I think it's Sagittarius, if I remember right. So that would like more explain that aspect of it.
Right.
So,
and meanwhile, I'm just Aquarius. Like there's no little like dips and valleys. Right. But yeah, like everyone, they've got their three signs. So like, for example, I worked with a girl who was an Aries, and Aries are often depicted as very fiery and aggressive, and she was very calm, and she came across very soft and like friendly and well-natured and stuff. But people forget that there's depth. You could be fiery, but still it's not, it could be more of an internal blaze, so like people forget that it's like there's layers to it.
My baby sister right there.
If it was just all on the surface, then all people would be acting.
We'd only have We'd only have 12 different personalities in the world, and that would be boring.
That's not how it works, y'all.
Stieg just did his chart. I'm not gonna click on it. There we go. He just did his chart, and this is his chart. So Capricorn, Sag. That explains your like level of sass and thirst. It's right there.
Because Sagittarians are flirty, you know.
So
I see Sagittarius, I'm like, oh, thirsty. Steve.
So now I'm very like torn because, you know, Capricorn is often depicted as like half goat, half fish, and then Sagittarius is like half person, half horse. So I'm like,
what are you?
Is he now a goat centaur?
Horse? Yeah,
that's what I want. I want a goat tar.
Oh,
Stieg, yikes! No wonder. We took two very different reactions there. He's like, that's why. And I'm like, oh, yes. See, this also makes sense because, like, you had to tell me you were a Capricorn 3 times because I was convinced you were Sagittarius. I kept going, you're Sagittarius, right? And he's like, no, I'm a Capricorn.
Sense.
Even, like, recently, I was like, hey, your birthday season's coming up, right? And he's like, no, not until, like, you got to get through Sagittarius first, Sam. And I'm like, why the fuck? I know this. I know them.
I feel like you just blew my mind because that is so right. I would expect him to be a Sagittarius.
So much of Stieg has been revealed to us this day.
I have Sagittarius somewhere in my chart, but I can't remember where. I just remember it's like high up, like a prominent thing. So that's where my sass comes from too, I guess. Well, Aquarians can be sassy, but you know.
So a good source, it's astrologycafe.com, I think, is a very like accurate and free resource for your birth chart. You just need to know like where you were born, when you were born, or where and when you were born will give you like, if you have the hour, it will give you the most accurate birth chart you can get.
Mm-hmm. I like Aries personally. Aries is another one that gets a bad rep. I like them. I think they're fun, and I feel like a lot of people see Aries as domineering, but I feel like certain people come across as domineering to other certain people, and then they don't come across as, it depends on the kind of person you are. Because like I'm a naturally very curt, straightforward person. So other people who people claim are domineering, they don't seem that way to me. Because for me, it's like I see you're domineering, raise one.
I think you're. Oh, you want domineering?
Right.
But I think for me, Aries are just like willing to step into that leadership role. And like my sister and I are friends with a bunch of indecisive people. So she'll be like, so what game do we want to play today? And, you know, she gets this chorus of, oh, I don't know. And she's like,
okay.
Then I'm picking one. So it's like, all right. So for those who don't know, I host streams. I host streams on Mondays. Sometimes the majority of them are write-ins where I host sprints and we do breaks and it's a lot of productivity for all. Other times I do Let's Talks where I pick a topic that I and my guest want to talk about and we talk about chat. We've done like werewolves and fantasy and stuff like that. And then today, Jenna and I just decided to do like a chat and chill because we were like, fuck it, we're just going to hang out.
Yeah.
I put in the titles and the descriptions and the thumbnails what kind of stream it's going to be. So if it's a write-in, it will say write-in. If it's...
What is so funny? I want to know. Chris,
yes, my Scorpio husband. I just want to know why you're laughing so evilly. And then my Let's Talks will say Let's Talk and have the topic in it. And then like, you know, this one says chat and chill. So it's a chat and chill. We might do a sprint toward the end because a few people have asked for sprints. But right now, we're just talking Zodiac. Your thirst. I am screaming. That was, I think, the Stieg thing that you said about Sagittarius explaining his
I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Like, I immediately, like, all my Sagittarian friends are like, even if they're like, I remember I had one in college, she was like a hardcore virgin, but she was just still the biggest flirt and was like, look at the cute boys, you know? Like, they're just so cute that way.
Somebody, oh, there it is. It's a fawn. I do think technically some, but a fawn or a satyr. Think you're right. There's a word for that, but I want a goat tar.
A goat tar. It makes me think of a guitar.
a goat tar.
Oh, Matt's got good signs in there. Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini.
That actually might be really close to my. Oh, wait a sec. Wait. Oh, I have an app that I have. Hold on.
I have to pee though, so hold on. Is that okay, Butters? Can I pee?
Go pee while I look up my app. CoStar, that's what it's called. So everybody, you can also use a phone app called CoStar that will like tell you all the things. It's fetching NASA data right now. Okay, so I have to wait for Jenna to come back though, but I misremembered my chart so horribly. What's that say?
Scorpio, I got Pisces in me.
And Virgo.
I guess.
I see some people answering the sprints. I feel naked. Sorry, Steve. That might be it. Oh, yes, exactly. All right, sleep well. I missed you. Right? It's like Aries is not a domineering sign. I've never actually met a domineering Aries, but they are usually fairly comfortable taking like the reins. I don't know what this chart. If you're doing the astrology cafe, one of the reasons it's good is it should like break down each section and what it means for you, like below the chart.
Butters has returned. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Butters is a Virgo. Thank you, Butters. Thank you.
Butters is a Virgo. Yes.
She's grounded and smart. She's a smart girl. She's full of kisses. She's full of kisses. Say hi, Butters. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
You're so small.
Sophie got her chart. And she was like, I don't know what this chart means. Right, so Libra, and then Moon is Aries and Sagittarius. That's a good combo to me, I think.
Do you want to say your least favorite signs? It's okay.
First, okay. My chart is actually so my sun sign is Virgo, as we know. My moon is Capricorn, which explains my dark humor. And my ascendant is in Libra, so I mask myself as a Libra. This explains my son's argument.
What about you, Butters?
And then my Mercury is in Virgo, Venus in Leo, Mars in Taurus, Jupiter is Leo, Capricorn, Scorpio. Ooh, I got so much Earth in my chart.
Earth. Oh man. Right, Butters? Right.
So Chris is a Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo.
Mud.
He's mud. Or like swamp, quicksand.
Do you have favorite and least favorite signs?
You want to be a swamp?
I want to be black mana.
Okay, you can be a swamp. You are from Florida. It's very appropriate. I was like, it's getting hot, and I was thinking of taking off my t-shirt, but I'm like, I don't have a tank top on today.
Oops.
So my least favorite sign, that's well, okay. So here's the thing. My son is like the only Libra I get along with. Other than that, Aries is my favorite one to argue with because that's how I be. Look, I have a lot of fun arguing. That's like half of mine and Fox's relationship is fake arguing at each other. He's an Aries. But I think Cancer is the one that I don't get along with at the greatest level. like, what's that? Gabe, calm down. So yeah, like me, and I don't think there's ever been a Cancer that I have known personally in real life that I've actually been able to connect with or stay friends with for very long. And part of that is because they are very sensitive to criticism. And as we've spent about a good 30-40 minutes going, back and forth, you can't really be friends with a Virgo and not be okay with some form of criticism at some point.
And they will hold that grudge until the end of time. It'll be 5 years later, and they're like, remember that one thing you said about my shoes? And it's like, bitch, it's been 5 years. Let it go.
Right. And it's also just like, if I feel like we have an issue holding our friendship back, I'm going to voice it because I want us to be good friends. And it doesn't work out at all.
Yeah. Continue.
But other than that, I don't think I actually have a like least favorite sign because I generally can get along with just about any sign except Cancer. And Libra is the least fun to argue with. I don't like arguing with Libras.
My least favorite signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Taurus. Yeah, and that's not to say they're all horrible or anything, but you're frozen. You're frozen. You're frozen, woman. Is it just for me? Oh no.
Hello?
There we go.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
Cancers for me, like all of them, they can be fine. I have friends who are in every sign. It's all good, guys. It's all good. I'm just talking about statistically speaking. Cancers, I constantly accidentally offend them. And then it's like, I have no idea how, or like, I'm just like, I don't get it, So it doesn't usually work out because I'm constantly saying something that makes them cry. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And they can be a little passive aggressive. Pisces.
Oh God. Me and passive aggression do not get along.
I'm just aggressive. I don't make it passive.
Same. I'm like, you got something to say it.
Yeah.
So like we're not trying that's the thing. That's why we were both very careful with stating Cancer specifically, because it's personality based. We are just not two people who get along with this sign very well. And it is like, for example, I said something to one of my friends who is a Gemini a few months back. They were in a really like rough spot hormonally, and they said something that I didn't exactly like, but it didn't like make me mad or anything. So I just, clarified like what I said and everything. And then like, because they were in a bad headspace, they were dead convinced that like they had pissed me off. And they were like, hey, I can't really talk to you right now. I have to like, go take care of me. And I was like, oh, okay. All right then. But then like, an hour or so, or not an hour, it wasn't even that long. I just I sent them like a friendship gift, like just kind of be like, hey, I still love you. It's all good. And then they were like, thank you. And we talked it out, and that was it. And we're pretty good. We're good right now. And it's just, that's what I appreciate. I appreciate that they were like, hey, like, I know you didn't mean to, but what you said, like, really put my negative headspace over the edge. And so I have to, go have me time. And I'm like, I didn't take it personally. I did feel bad that I made them feel that way. But like, I just focused on making it better because I knew that I could make it better. And for like people who don't tell me that I fucked up, or they don't tell me that I hurt their feelings, I'm like, I'm not a mind reader. I can't make it better.
What do you want me to do about it? Yeah, with Cancers, this is just like a good example. And okay, like I said, all three of these signs, I've got friends, family, and stuff in those signs, and we get along great. It's not anything personal. I'm just saying, statistically speaking, like the greater world out there, the number of people I've come into contact, statistically, it's not been great with these 3 signs. For example, on Tumblr, people used to ask me for like horoscope advice and stuff, or like, will this sign go well with this sign? And they'd ask me to like explain the signs. And I would be honest, I would say the good and bad, including for my own sign. There are lots of bad traits about Aquarians. We're assholes. Like that is literally what we're known for, is being assholes. And so I would say the good and bad for every sign. And when I got to Cancer, I said the good for Cancer. And then I said the bad is that they hold grudges forever. They can be manipulative and they are passive aggressive and they can take things way too sensitively. And every other sign, I said the good and bad, just as many good, just as many bad. And they were all like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Haha, they thought it was funny. Cancers flooded my inbox like, we're not sensitive. And like a lot of passive aggressive messages about how they're not sensitive and passive aggressive. And I was just like,
so you're not? You sure? You sure
are
you're
you
not?
sure about that?
You're positive.
So that was the Cancer thing. Pisces, I just, they can be a little...
I don't actually know any Pisces. I don't think so.
I feel like we've talked about this before, but they can be a little young at heart, like a little discombobulated. I'll put it that way.
Oh, I did know a Pisces. Sorry.
Like if someone does something that just makes you go, it's like, are they a Pisces? Sorry, I keep doing this because it's getting dark in here.
You're fine. No, you just reminded me, like when I was talking about friendships and like certain things, and I was like, sometimes you have a friend who is reliably unreliable. Like
yes,
they're gonna be late. You know they're gonna be late. You know they're gonna forget this or that, and it's perfectly fine if like you know that about your friend and you accept that about your friend. I mean, it's just just one of those things. So they are like reliably unreliable, and I can deal with reliably unreliable. I can't deal with like somebody who's inconsistent. Like I can rely on you sometimes and not other times. I'm like, no.
I see Pisces as just kind of being like, like all over the place, like a little fairy, and it's just kind of like, all right, cool. And I don't like, I haven't necessarily had problems with them specifically. It's just kind of like they can produce the eye rolls. They can be a little, oh, they're doing that again. And then with Taurus, it's in the zodiac, Taurus and Aquarius is notoriously a very volatile match that can end in like very explosive arguments and violence. And that's because we are both very headstrong and we are both wildly different. So like we look the same on the surface because Taurus and Aquarius are both artistic, creative signs. So we can get along in that way. And then when you go down beneath the surface, we are wildly different. Like Taurus, like if you look at romantic attraction, Taurus is notoriously like, we went on 3 dates, you're my wife now. Like they're that sign. Whereas Aquarius is like, I need like 3 months. Like I barely know you. Like the Aquarius is the most emotionally detached sign, and we're the most sign.
Jenna?
Are
Jenna, my internet doesn't appreciate you talking that about yourself.
Huh?
Okay. You were like cutting in and out, and I'm like, Jenna, my internet doesn't appreciate you talking about yourself like that. Because that's when it cut out.
Oh, well, basically, Aquarians are very independent and need space and need their me time. And Taurus, they're very, they can be clingy and they're very very attached, and they need that comfort and sense of family. And so it can create a lot of problems because what Taurus views as like romance or friendship, Aquarians view as being smothered, and what Aquarians view as romance and friendship, Taurus views as like abandonment. And so I will get along with someone, and then shit will end up hitting the fan because it's like
the closer you get, the harder it is to maintain.
Right, to maintain the boundaries of this is how I am, this is how you be, like let's keep it that way. It's chill, But but I think that so long as each person is understanding enough to get like this is how that person is, it should be fine. The problem is that both signs can be stubborn, and if you're stubborn, then you know you're not going to want to bend in any way.
Yeah, see, it just judging by like what you were saying earlier and what we've been saying and just like the interactions, it does feel like you get along with like people who are 180 from the people that we get along with. So, which is a thing. It happens.
Right. That's why
It's
people
also-
exist in all different colors of the rainbow. Butters is like looking at the cookie dough. Not for you, girl.
Give me some. No, Butters. It's chocolate. Don't be
Mm-mm.
bi. Do not be bi.
Right.
Oh my god, y'all, my dog is a chocoholic. She's just like, oh, hold on. Let me, before I forget, because I just remembered, I have a thing on my Mila note board, which is just like merch ideas. And I have to put, here's the thing, I'm a god as a merch idea.
I'll buy that. Shit. Someone
Here
tagged
is
me
the-
somewhere.
Oh my god, I did. See Sophie's chart
Oh.
in Mod Squad.
Yes. It's a good chart, Sophie. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Leo. I like that. All signs I like.
My twin and I are Gemini. So I just need to let you know I misread this like 3 times. Again, I thought you were like, my brother and I are twins. I'm a Gemini. He's an Aquarius. And I'm sitting here like, wait, how? But I now realize you mean you have multiple siblings. Well,
Kate-
your twin is the Gemini. Your brother is an
Casey-
Aquarius.
Casey said, I'm Aquarius and I hate space. I like having people around me. I don't mean literal space. I'm like 3 feet away from Cliff every single day.
I believe
mean,
what Jenna
emotional.
refers to is like Chris and I can be in the same room, and sometimes, because this is a little bit of a thing, like Scorpios do actually, at least my Scorpio needs more connection on that romantic level than I do a lot of the time. So like we'll just exist in the same room, him like playing a game or on his computer, me like writing or something, and I'm content. This is all of the bonding I needed for the day. I now feel very loved. My husband spent the whole day in the room with me, and he's over there and he's like, "Hun, I miss you. I'm a little lonely.
Right.
Can we like do something together?" And I'm just like, "Oh,
Right.
so it's okay. You want to watch a movie?"
Right.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
only one
Like-
of our needs are being fulfilled. So,
Hey there!
you want to say hi?
Yes. Hi, 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 hi.
Hi!
Hi.
How are you?
Do you like her dog Butters?
Dog Butters.
Yeah. Do you remember? Here, let me show. See, Butters.
Say hi.
Wait, is that a boy or a girl?
A girl dog.
He's a girl.
Ooh,
Isn't she pretty?
yes.
You see pictures of her all the time on Insta, don't you?
No, I haven't seen it.
He's like, "Oh, I'm like his mother. I'm a Libra." You want to say bye now? Are you
Say
done?
hi.
Yes.
He's like, I'm good.
He's like, you started asking me. He does that like when I'm recording videos too. He'll be like, I want to be part of it. And then I'm like, what do you want to say? And he's like, I don't know. Oh, yes, it's CB. You say hi?
Yes.
Does she play Among Us with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, there's a game Michael plays on his phone called Among Us where like
Mhm.
you
I watch people play Among Us.
yes. There's like there's 5 to 10 players and one person will like be 1 to 3 people will be imposters and try to murder everybody and you got to like figure out who the killer is. It's like a murder mystery
Okay.
basically.
If it's one imposter and one crewmate, that means imposter wins.
Yeah.
And if it's 2 crewmate and 2 imposters, that means imposter wins.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what's 3 imposters and 3 crewmates.
You never encountered that problem before?
I think imposter wins.
Okay. Come on. Now he knows how to talk. Yes. Oh, this is my camera hog.
Hey.
She's just angry.
Hey!
Laugh.
Hey, you want to see a
Say hi
puppy?
to Jenna. Is that Butters?
Yeah, he's a girl.
Yes,
she's
she is.
Hi. He's cute.
Hi.
I got a super airplane.
You made an airplane. That's awesome.
Oh, you want to show
Wow.
her what happens when you open it?
Oh, that's your name.
That's me, and that's a picture too.
Oh, wow.
Now go.
Bye.
Heavy on the
Bye. Oh,
I
Butters.
love how transparent Roxy is with attention sometimes because she's like, yes, cute. I'm very enthusiastically giving you attention. Now it's my turn. And she's just, her whole demeanor just changes.
She's like, hello.
I came in here to talk about me. I will give you precisely 30 seconds to
Right.
talk about you.
Butters wanted back with the laundry, so she's going back. We love you, Butters.
I will, you'll send a picture of Butters on Discord or post it on Instagram. And when I'm looking at it, Michael will come over and he'll be like, oh, she's so cute. But I think he gets he likes the idea of being on camera, but then he gets on camera and he's like,
He's
oh,
shy.
I'm here. You can kind of see it, how it changes in his face when he's standing beside me versus once the headphones go on. He's like, oh, shit got real.
Meanwhile, Butters just falls asleep beneath the lights. She's just like, it's warm. It's warm.
I have 3 tiny humans. The other one, I don't know where he is.
He's off being vampiric.
Probably. He's mildly disappointed that his front teeth are growing in now. But he'll just be like, I'm still a vampire. And I'm like, you're still a vampire, sure.
Yeah. A vampire at heart.
No, you didn't offend anybody here.
I genuinely don't know what they're referring to. So that should say with confidence that I was not offended.
I think it was just the
liking different people.
Differing opinions.
Dissenting.
Thank you. Dissenting.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
I legitimately didn't know if you were teasing me about not remembering the right word or not. I was like,
no, I meant how dare they like different things? You must be just like us, or else.
I mean, we practically came out of the same mold, so
right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's fine. You know, all people are allowed to like different things.
Roxy, come here real quick.
Cliff likes pineapple on pizza, and I do not, and yet we coexist in harmony.
This is why Cliff and I could share food. Look, Sophie loves your art.
Yay!
Oh,
she's very pleased. Her every teacher she has, they're just like, she's such a little artist. Her current teacher told us that sometimes when she does artwork on her classwork, whether or not it has anything to do with the question, she'll just count it right sometimes because her artwork is so advanced. And I'm like, I think so.
That's sweet.
Jenna, I show every picture of Butters to my friends and we all love her. Oh, yeah.
Baby.
That's what we are here for.
Butters is just sitting on the bed, wagging her tail. What? What, you little crazy? Oof. Oof. Oh, no.
Sorry. Do we want to do a sprint real? How dare you? Cliff is right.
What is Cliff wrong about?
Pizza.
What did he do?
Pineapple pizza, I assume.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think he's wrong as well, but we can live in harmony, and I'll just
we can't be friends anymore.
I'll just have the cheese pizza, and he can have the pineapple. What, you little crazy? What? You've got so many opinions.
Sophie, have I showed you her art desk? I should show you her art desk. Hi, Butters. What's up? What side are you on? Pineapple or no pineapple?
She's like, I've never had pineapple. I like carne asada.
She just hears her daddy being shit talked, and she's like, "No,
What? Yeah.
excuse you." But yeah, remind me, and I'll show you her art desk later, if I haven't already. Oh, I love it. I love the chat standing. Yes.
A heart fart.
It's okay. Do you know how long it took me to master this on streams? They used to like me. Oh, that's actually a good one. No, it used
Yeah,
to like.
mine would just look like this. It's like.
I finally. Oh no! I forgot how I did it. No shit! I lost. Oh no! All right, I'll have to try to figure that out. Okay. Do we want to do a sprint before it gets like too late?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I gotta go pee, so this is little self-motivated. How long do we want the sprint for? 15 or 20?
Either's fine with me.
We're not doing 30.
No.
I want to talk to Jenna before then.
CB goes, it's not shit talking, it's just a differing of fundamental opinions. I don't have migraines and I cannot talk.
Not according to Butters. According to Butters, is shit
Yeah.
talking hard?
Yeah, Butters ain't too pleased. None too pleased, this little lady.
That, or she just like heard me say we couldn't be friends anymore, and she's like, "Aunt Sam, how dare you?"
How dare? How dare? We're talking about you.
All right. Nobody had an opinion on 20 or 15, and the 20-minute one is the first one that popped up when I searched. So, oh, Sophie coming in with an opinion.
Oh. And Tabitha.
Okay. That's when we do some of our best writing.
Right,
so
that's usually when I write. So yes, go for
here
it.
for it. Easy. Also, I just want to share the fact that I got a Milanote update because I just threw the merch idea on like my main board so that it didn't take too long to find it. And Fox left me a note that was like, "This is in the wrong spot, ho. I'm gonna put it in the right spot for you." To illustrate our friendship right there.
Oh, I love it.
Nope, that's the Milanote. That's not what I want to share. Okay. So we're doing 20, and I'm gonna go pee. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
What?
And we're back.
Huzzah! Whee!
So I went pee, changed into a tank top because my t-shirt was killing me, and look at the tank top I'm wearing. Doesn't look familiar at all.
Yay! Merch twins, kind of.
Just so y'all know, like, these tank tops are the best tank tops in the world. Just saying, go buy them.
It's funny because I don't have any of the tank tops. I've got like every other merch item except for the tank tops and then the sweatshirt without a hood. So I'm asking for them for Christmas. Like I'm asking for my own merch for Christmas.
Yo,
whatever works.
Do it. I'm gonna ask for one of the hoods for Christmas. So.
Oh, it was.
It's because we muted and unmuted, and so now StreamYard is
gonna you're
fucked up for a bit.
Oh,
I forgot to grab a drink.
Okay, good to know. So on our break, what I did was I gave Buttercup back to her dad. I got her dinner. I got myself some fancy wine in a Princess Bride mug. And I edited 3 pages of chapter 4 of The Savior's Army. Layla is about to see Delphi.
I have to correct myself in a chat real quick. So, because we were all talking about like the charts in CoStar, and Sophie and Stieg now feel very, very called out. And I was just like, if anybody wants to add me on CoStar, and I like shared my thing, but I'm like, although I think in this chat, Sophie is literally the only person I don't have on CoStar. And I checked and I don't have Jessie either. So, but everybody else I got. Which shirt? I need to know.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. I'm wearing one of my older ones, but the design has since been updated, and now I have the updated sweatshirt of this.
Edited 3 pages, stream, finished lesson. Oh yeah. And applied to C6. Oh yeah, we love adoption. What's this say? Hello, my name is.
Sorry, CB said. My name is Inigo Montoya. CB said that it looked like the wine was steaming, so I'm showing it. I'm like, does this look like it's steaming? It's weird. It's not.
Could have just been a reflection of the light. Love the shirts I bought. I am a writer and I hate people and the blood of my enemies mug. Ah, yes. Good. So I just very aesthetically love the number of words you wrote. 696 is so very pretty. And that's how you know the Virgo.
Jade goes, don't mind me, Jenna. I'm just going to buy all of your sweatshirts as a Christmas gift for myself. That's what I'm doing. But I, just so you know, I'm having a Black Friday sale soon. So hold off on that so you can save some money.
Save damn money. I am wearing Jenna merch, as is Jenna. Look, let me just tell you, I like went to change shirts and my husband like walks in and he's like, that better not be. And I'm like, better not be what? And then he's like, okay, it's not the TSS. Wait a sec, that's still Jenna tank top. They're like, I cycled through 3 tank tops, the TSS one, the I Write Badass Books one, and then this Zelda one that Fox got me for my birthday because they're like the 3 comfiest tank tops I own. So the only time I wear anything else now is if they're all dirty, and he like just did the laundry. So I'm like, yes, I can live in them for another 4 weeks. I mean, what?
Oh yeah, merch for me is like, it's, you know, this is you know what I slept in. So and then I film in it, and you know, it's just comfy. It's comfortable.
Okay, so Jenna's wine is in fact not steaming. That's why Jenna was confused. However, there are wines that are intended to be drank heated up.
Really?
We have. No, we actually have one, and it tastes like Welch's, like a warm Welch's grape drink. It is so delicious. Like, it's good cold, but it's way better heated up.
That's crazy.
So-
I had no idea. Dude, you learn more every day.
Yeah, Chris like found it, and he was like, "I want to try it," and I'm like, "All right, let us try it."
Let us
yeah,
experiment.
it's one of my favorite ones, but like I have to heat it up, and that's work, so I don't drink it often.
I get that. Just having to put a bottle of wine in the fridge for me is like, oh man, too much work.
So I agree with this, but that's just because 7 is both my favorite and my lucky number. So
My lucky number is 9, so I preferred the 696, but also because it looks like an orgy.
That's like when I hit 420 subs, I like took a screenshot and sent it to Jenna, and I was like, light it up.
CB says that sounds gross. Warm wine. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy. Well, most like red wine is supposed to be room temperature, so technically, like the wine I'm drinking right now, it's like lukewarm. You know,
there's like certain drinks that are meant to be drank cold and then room temperature, and then some that are hot, and like nobody thinks anything different of like coffee or hot teas or anything like that. But it's like there's a lot more that's like that. Like, is it Dr. Pepper or Coke? So Dr. Pepper and Coke are technically supposed to taste the same, but one was made to be drank cold and the other was made to be drank at room temperature. I think Dr. Pepper was designed to be drank at room temperature, which is why like once Coke goes warm, it tastes like horrible. But most of the time, if you drink Dr. Pepper once it's warmed up, it's not like the worst thing. So
interesting. I don't think I've ever had Dr. Pepper, like literally in my life.
I've had all the soda, and I prefer none of the soda, but
I prefer Coke, Pepsi, and root beer. Those are my preferences. But I'm not a huge soda drinker. Maybe like once a month.
So how old are you? Because I'm not convinced my site is necessarily not my site. My channel may be appropriate depending on your age.
I always feel like my videos are very, very adult. And if someone younger waltzes in, it's sort of like, well, they knew because, you know, it's me saying fuck in the intro. So.
Oh, I'm not going to censor myself. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't need to censor myself for my own children.
It's like when people hit me up like, is the Savior's Champion appropriate for 12-year-olds? And I'm like.
But you know what? If they find it.
If they find it, it's got blood. Oh my gosh, this is only semi on topic, but it reminds me of that person who left like a really angry comment on one of my videos, and I only saw it because it was like right when the videos like went up in the comment. Yeah. They left this angry comment about TSC on the video, complaining about the prologue of TSC because a woman gets her throat slit. And they were like, it was so graphic and bloody, and it was just like so unnecessary. And they were like really, really mad. It's totally fine that you don't, that's not your kind of book. However, it just made me laugh because there are trigger warnings, and the very first trigger warning is graphic violence. And I don't know if you've seen the cover that you have to see in order to read the book. But this is blood. So it was kind of like, she's like, it was so bloody. And I'm like,
that's
it's
just
on
like
the cover.
Cranberry sauce.
Right? No, it's paint. It's just a red scarf in the shape of smeared handprints. It just made me laugh because she was like, it's so bloody. And I'm like,
really? I had no idea.
I had no idea there was blood. But anywho, it's different strokes for different folks. But it's to me, it's like seeing a book with a shirtless man on the cover and then opening it up and being like, there was so much nudity. It's like,
I'm waiting for the day I get a comment that's all like, you're a mother. Why, like, are you dressing like this and stuff? And I'd be like, because I'm a hot mom. That's just gonna be my reaction.
I shouldn't have had wine in my mouth at the time. We were gonna have another spill because I'm a hot mom.
Yeah, that's just. I just think it's so silly when people are all like, "Oh, well, you're a mother, so you shouldn't talk that way," or "You're a mother, so you shouldn't dress that way," and it's like, but I'm a hot mom.
I get those comments, and I'm not even a mom. It's just you're a woman. I remember this one guy mansplained my cussing to me. He's like, "I know you're faking it." Like, how do you fake cussing? First of all, like,
Not well. That's how.
yeah, like, how do you fake cuss? Like, are you saying that I'm saying fudge and fork? And he's like, "I know you're faking it because I can tell that you are not really a cusser." And I was like, "Oh, you know me so well." And he was like, telling me, that's Lord. He said I was saying the swear words in the wrong places of sentences.
All right, I've got something to tell him. The F word can literally be applied in any part of the sentence. It's a very versatile word.
It's like punctuation.
What I would want is to just be like, all right, could you like send me an analysis of like why you say this and then never read it?
I get lots of lengthy emails from men, just like long essays, and it's always like, "Oh, honey, like I got a job," but they're they want to tell me their analysis of me and things like that.
It's like, I have known me my whole life. You're not telling me anything new.
Mm-hmm.
I just found a copy of TSC on the street, opened the prologue, and glitched there. Look, I will say that, like, when I was reading TSC the first time and I read the prologue, I was just like, oh, well, this isn't what I expected, but here we are now. And then, like, the first death, I was like, oh, we in for a ride.
The way I see it is if the prologue upsets you, then it's a good thing that you put the book down because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
See, for me, I'd also never get mad at the author for that. It's just like, I should have checked the trigger warnings, or just like, I done knew what I was signing up for, so I wouldn't get mad or anything.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's like for example, I'm not really into young adult fiction, and sometimes I will read young adult fiction because I read the books that people send me, and I receive a lot of young adult, and I'll still read it, or at least attempt to read it. And if I don't enjoy it because there's typos or there's some kind of dysfunctional, like problematic element, then that for me is like, okay, the author messed up. But if I don't like it because it's young adult, that to me, that's not on the author, because I knew going into it that this is not my preference. So I might not like it because I am not crazy about teenage stories, So in situations like that, I always go into it knowing, okay, this might not be for me, but that's, I'm taking the risk, and that is on me if I don't like it. Sophie said the funniest thing. You say, fuck, name 3 of their songs. It really is that what it's like.
Okay, so I just want to check. I'm not sure what this is in response to, but
that was in response to guys body shaming you because you're a mom.
Oh, okay. That's what I was hoping, because I was like, with my hot mom joke, I just want to make sure that it wasn't like misunderstood as me saying that like non-hot moms shouldn't dress that way or anything. That's just, it's just like, because that's just me being like, fuck you, I do what I want because this is how I perceive myself, and I'm just very like, I got the mom pouch and everything, so I'm like, I just wanted to make sure I was clear, because like, just do you. I don't care. I'm extremely body positive for everybody.
That's at least how I took it. Like, that it was in response to people trying to be like, you can't do that, you're a mom.
Yeah. Like I said, I just wanted to be clear so that like all moms of all body types feel welcome here.
We're all hot moms except me, because I'm not a mom.
We're all hot moms. Even those of us who are not moms.
Cliff's a hot mom, even though he's not a mom or a woman. Jade said something really sweet. Literally, I read the prologue of TSC and was like, this is going to be fucking amazing. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's very sweet.
There was something that I was gonna... Oh, Motherfucker, the fuck's your problem, and get fucked are my 3 faves. I don't know who sucks, but I'm here for it.
My personal fave is fucking fuck part 2.
Right? This mother, let me just tell you, this pouch is a parasite that will never leave. And you're like, I don't care how much you exercise and how well you eat, it's there. It is there for life.
That's because it's extra padding for your uterus to keep it nice and cozy. It keeps it safe.
It don't need to be cozy no more. It can be cold
Yeah.
and uncomfortable.
I don't need this, bitch. I don't need it. CB goes, we're all hot moms on the inside.
Okay, cool. That's exactly how I intended it. Good.
Success. I figured it out.
Yes. Look, that was just me being over analytical and being like, wait, it could mean A, B, or C. So
Virgo in the house.
Exactly. That's what we do. That's why, like, a lot of I am very blessed with some good friends at the moment, because I'll just be like, hey, I just need to like clarify this one thing, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just need to make sure, because they could have been like,
for every time Sam needs to clarify something, I need reassurance on something, and so she'll be like, I need to clarify. I'm like, yeah, you're good. I'm like, Sam, is this okay? And she's like, it's like the same different sides of the same coin. It's like, Sam, help me. And then she's like, Jenna, help me. And it all works out.
Oh, I love you too, random citizen. That's one of my favorite quotes from a movie. Is it's from Megamind, and it's like the like Superman superhero insert dude. He's presenting just something to the city, and somebody's like, we love you, super guy, and he's like, and I love you, random citizen. It's just one of my favorites. What's his name? Metro Man. That's his name. He like looks like Superman and Elvis were smashed together. It's one of my favorite superhero designs.
Oh man. Oh, sorry.
It is so good. Sorry.
I've got the giggles now. I've never seen Megamind. I've just referenced it many a time.
I was about to ask, do you know what it's about before I go into a over enthusiastic spiel?
I know what it's about. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of movies because Cliff is bedridden, so he watches a lot of TV. He's taken a million online courses. He's learned how to do so many computer things, and I say computer things because I don't fucking understand it. So to me, it's computer things. And he's learned new instruments and all this stuff, but he also watches a lot of Netflix and a lot of movies and TV. And when we go to watch something together, I don't want to watch something he's already seen. What the fuck? But I'll be like, oh, let's watch something, and then I'll be like, what about this? And he's like, seen it. What about this? Seen it. So that's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right, I got very distracted. So at like 9, the kids are all supposed to go in their separate rooms to like chill out and just pick up their room and then watch TV as like an unwinding and a downtime. It makes it easier for them to actually fall asleep at bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
But they're children, so sometimes they don't actually listen and they go in each other's rooms anyway.
Oh no.
That's what the bellow was for. Also, let me tell you, this man never like yells or like anything unless he's messing around, or just a sudden bellow like that. Because he was at the bottom of the stairs and he bellowed up to the top of the stairs.
I just love the use of the word bellow, so I'm here for it.
That's what he does.
Bellow. It's true.
Because it's not a yell. It's very different from a yell. He's just projecting his voice.
A bellow it's emotionally softer than a yell, but it's voice-wise comes from a deeper place.
Yeah, and especially since he's got a deep voice already, so it's just like all that bass. It's just like And so, and for me, I never hear him like be loud. So every time he bellows, I'm like, oh, hello, you
Right?
can yell.
Oh, he should be an opera singer. Oh. Or just an opera laugher because he's got the best laugh in the whole world.
He's the villain.
Yeah. He should do audiobooks, just villain laughs.
He just is like audiobook narrator. This person, villain laugh. Christopher.
Right? That's all he has to do. CB says Cliff should watch Julie and the Phantoms. I don't know what that is, but is that the show about a band? Is that oh hello lady. Hello.
She's just so very politely trying to get
like,
my attention.
She's like,
So
this is I am the patron saint of this, and I would like to be involved. Hello. I just love the little.
I know, she's always so polite. That's why whenever you send a picture of Butters doing that, I'm like, yes, Artemis does the same thing.
It's the lady thing. It's like, hello, I am a polite, dainty lady.
She wants the mom cuddles.
Oh,
and,
I hear the purrs.
Surprising no one, Chris absolutely adores Megamind. And so sometimes he'll just play the like, do you know this scene? I know you haven't seen the movie, but it's the scene where he's about to go up against the redhead who's, I can't remember. Huh? Titan. He's about to go up against Titan. And he's all like, you lack presentation. And it's just like got all of the, what song plays? Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yes. It's amazing. Oh yeah, he's like, you're not a supervillain, you're just a villain. And he's like, oh, well, what makes a supervillain? And Megamind's like, presentation. Giant like rock star light show.
That's true. I love that. I love that so much.
Chris will just play that scene sometimes, and it's like my favorite scene in the movie too, because I like the way that the smoke and the lighting and the guitar thing. I'm just like, I love this. Like he's all like, this is what makes a supervillain. So
I love that too. I want to be a supervillain more than I want to be a hero. But like a secret softy villain, like they seem bad on the outside, but on the like I want to be Bianca Del Rio. So you only know what I'm talking about if you're Jesse, Stieg, and if Cody's here, then him too. Sorry, I'm just checking in with Cliff.
I'm gonna assume it's a RuPaul drag thing then.
It is.
You're fine. Take your time. I'm being assaulted, so you're good. I'm giving the cat lots of pets. There you go.
It makes me miss Butters, but I gave her back to her dad.
Congratulations on outstubborning the child. You now deserve a cookie or brownie, whatever is the pastry of your preference. Jesse says,
Bianca. I think he meant Bianca.
Bianca.
How far, Jesse? How far are you in the season? I want to know.
She needs to know.
Also, do you love Adore or Delano? Because I love Adore, but I love Bianca a little bit more. But I love them both. Adore, Delano. Did you know Adore Delano was on what's it called? American Idol. He said he fell asleep in the first episode and was offended she didn't show up in the first one. He's gonna have to wait until part 2. That's true. I'm sorry, but she's worth the wait.
We're here for it. Stieg has got to go. No problem. We are glad to give you a look into the deeper parts of yourself with your birth chart.
We are glad to teach you about you because we know you better than you know yourself. It's not true.
I mean, sometimes that is sometimes true. It's kind of funny. I mean, not necessarily about Stieg and other people, but like with me and Chris, when we do some of the couple things and it's all like, what's your favorite this? Chris will be like, I don't know. What is my favorite that? And I'm like, it's this. And he's like, oh, okay.
Me and Cliff, I mean, that's obviously going to come when you're with someone for like a decade, you know? So like Cliff will, you know, because his chronic pain, sorry to bring down the mood,
no.
But with therapy,
I'm just trying not to laugh at what you're saying because Steve said this. And I'm like, I feel really bad if I laugh right now, but
it's all good. With CRPS, it can affect you in terms of nausea, and then when you have nausea, it makes it so that it's harder to eat and keep stuff down. So his weight fluctuates, and so he'll lose a lot of weight, and he'll need to get new clothes. He'll, maybe gain a little bit more weight. He can wear the old clothes, things like that. So there was a time where we had to buy a ton of new clothes for him, and he wasn't feeling well enough to shop for it. So I just went through and I went shopping and I put a ton of stuff in the basket. And he's like, well, don't buy it yet because I gotta make I gotta make sure it's okay. I'm like, okay, sure. And he went through all of it. And he's like, he just looks at me, and goes, baby, you know everything I like. And I was like, yeah, I do. I fucking see you every day. I see what you wear. I know the colors you like. I know the styles you like. I know the fit you like because I see you every day. And so I put it all in the basket, and he was just like, baby. I'm like, I know. I'm the best. I get it.
You're like, sir, look, I know. I love that.
What can I say? What can I say?
I'm like rubbing her belly like a guitar right now. And she's just like,
yes. Yeah, Butter sits up like this for belly rubs. Like most dogs lay on their back. She will if it's nighttime. Like if it's sleep time, then she'll lay on her back. But any other time, she just sits up like this, and that means she wants a belly rub. So she's just sitting up like a prairie dog, and you're like, scratch, scratch.
Yeah, when Artemis wants belly rubs and she's like on the floor, she'll just be like this with her little paws like this, just looking at you like, rub it. And she'll like shake her little butt, so she's wiggling. She's like, rub the baby.
I love the wiggles. I love the wiggles. And Butters, it's not just like this when she's like on her back. It's not just like this. It's like,
yeah.
It's like yoga, dog yoga.
And it's just like, is that comfortable? Do your joints work that way? Small
and she'll fall asleep that way. She will fucking fall asleep. And I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. I couldn't be me, but you're more flexible than me. She's younger. She's sprightly, and I'm 33 going on 34. I had to think about that. I'm gonna be 34, right? Yeah. I'm at that age where I don't know what my age is.
I think you're like 4 years older than me.
What year were you born? I'm 87.
Oh, okay, you're 3 years older than me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be 34 in January.
Yeah. You are the best. I agree. She's Jenna amazing.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, it always surprises me when people are like, Jenna's cool, Jenna's great, because my whole life everyone hated me. So I'm like, I just have one of those personalities where it's like some people just don't. It's just being a straightforward female. People don't like it.
Look, if you're a woman who has opinions and you voice your opinions and you're confident in yourself, a lot of people gonna hate you.
Yeah.
And that's just the sad fact of my life. I mean, life in general.
Yeah, and then people, whenever people like me, I'm like, they like me.
Right.
They really like me.
The first few times somebody was like, I appreciate your like attitude. I was like, excuse. What do you mean you appreciate it? That's the thing people don't do.
CB wants to. Oh, sorry. Go.
So here's the thing. It depends on the cat, just like it depends on the dog. Not all dogs actually enjoy belly rubs. Right. And most of the time, if a cat presents their belly to you, it's for one of two reasons. Either they want a belly rub, or they're like they're learning their relationship with you, and they're presenting their vulnerability to you to see if they can trust you. So it depends on like how you proceed from there. And if a cat likes belly rubs and you go to rub their belly and they like grab your arm, just kind of like stop and whine at them, or, just stop in general. Cause either they don't know their play limits yet, or they got overstimulated and they're just letting you know that they got overstimulated. So either way, just stop when they grab your arm. As you could see with Artemis, I was like holding her and rubbing her belly, and she was fine with it because she loves belly rubs. She likes having her belly rubbed. I do it very like gently. Mm-hmm. So
CB wants to know when my birthday is, and it is January 29th, the same day as Oprah. Coincidence? I think not.
We appreciate.
Thank
We
you.
stand strong, independent women.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It just goes to show, and I'm not trying to like soapbox here, but it just goes to show a lot of people get told the things that are different, the things that are different about them. They should change it, but usually the things that are different about you end up kind of being a strength and a selling point. So pretty much my whole platform is built around me being really straightforward and giving it to you, you know, raw and dirty. Sorry. So I mean, it just goes to show that, I mean, I'm all for, like, if you've got a legitimate flaw, like, work on it. Like I do work on, like, I pride myself on being a straightforward person, but it's not my intention to be a hurtful person. Like there's a difference between straightforward and brutal. I don't want to be brutal, you know, but so I'm not saying, yeah.
Oh, go.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not saying like, fuck, like your flaws are great, keep them. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that just because someone doesn't like something about you doesn't necessarily mean it's a flaw. Just because you're different from there we go. Just because you're different from the status quo doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And a lot of times that is what will set you apart and make you memorable and special and all that stuff. So I built my whole career around the trait that people wanted me to get rid of. So fuck them. Look at me. I'm making money now. Huh.
So I was just gonna add to that. It's like I used to have a really, really bad temper when I was a teenager and everything, and so that was something that I had to work on, and I'm much better at it now, but sometimes I will still snap at like Chris or something, and then I will apologize because like, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. I was just, you know, angry and I took it out on you, and you know, he forgives me and all that. But then there were like stuff that I'm a very confident person, in case you didn't notice. And I have a really like healthy sense of self-esteem and everything. And when I was a teenager, a lot of people would tell me that I was arrogant or that I was full of myself because I wasn't afraid to be like, no, I like my hair. No, I have really nice legs. And I'm like, you know, I don't really like stuff with a deep V because I don't have very big boobs. And I'm like, so I just don't think that it doesn't give me the look I want it to. And I'm like, but I could wear a crop top or something that showed my belly because at the time I had a very flat stomach. And I was like, yes, my stomach's very nice. So, you know, like those things. And people would tell me like, oh, well, you're just like full of yourself or you're just arrogant. And I'm like, because I think I'm pretty. Or it's all like
self-aware.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've always been a highly intelligent person. Like I pushed myself. I took advanced classes and stuff. So I'd be like, no, I know I'm smart. And people would be like, wow, you're like a know-it-all and you're full of yourself. And I'm like,
but the thing is, that's also something that if I'm not trying, you know, well, whatever, I'm going to go there. It's, you know, you're female. So, you know, you don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what we're taught our whole lives. Like we're taught that if in college, I was a model, you know? And so a lot of not models are painfully insecure. And I definitely had insecurities about my body, but I handled the critiques of being a model a lot better than other models because I grew up being bullied for being ugly my whole life. So there wasn't anything that this, you know, fucking photo shoot person could say that I hadn't already heard. So in college, you know, I was confident with my appearance because I was getting paid to be cute. That's what they paid me to do. And then people would be like, right. And if I acknowledge that, you know, like pretty much if a guy was like, damn, you look good, and I'm like, thank you, instead of, oh no, like, are you serious? Ow, let me suck your dick. You know, if I just say thank you, or like
the number of men I have pissed off over the internet and in person because they'll be like, oh hey, you're pretty, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't even say thank you. I'm just like, yeah, I know. I didn't ask. I don't want to.
Even if you just say thank you, they're like, wow, okay, she's arrogant. And it's like, bitch, what do you want me? Like, oh my God, you gave me a compliment. Let me suck your dick. Like, it's just, you know, that's just kind of the way it is. And it's like, if you have some some semblance of self-assurance, people get very, about it. And when I was in college, I was, modeling. I was in college, and I was also a barista. And I remember I had a male coworker who literally like pulled me aside one time and is like, it's not that he's like, you're not arrogant. It's just that you're too much like a guy. That's what he said. He's like, you're too much like a guy. Like you know what you want, and you're, like he's like, you have masculine energy, and you're going to have to change that or you will never get a guy. And I was just like, thanks, buddy. Like,
you
thanks.
know how I combated that? I just got a guy who is more feminine than me.
The funny thing was, a few weeks later, I met Cliff, and it's like, oh, bitch. But yeah, like, it's like, it's kind of like the comparison they say, like, if a guy is, little boy shows leadership qualities, they'll be like, he's a leader, he's assertive. If it's a girl, she's bossy. It's just got kind of double standard. And so because I was confident, and I would be like, they'd be like, what are you doing this weekend? I have a photo shoot. Like, I'm going to be modeling a couture gown. Like I was being honest, and they'd be like, you're supposed to be like, I'm going to be sad and alone. Like, I'm not going to play that game. And it makes some people uncomfortable, and that's not my problem. That's not my problem.
Really isn't. It says so people think I'm modest because I'm willing to admit when people are better than me. No, if I am the best, I'll tell you. Yeah, that's the other thing is like I was fine with being wrong. I'm still fine with being wrong, and I'll admit when somebody's like better than me and stuff. Like, Jenna's really good at marketing, and my other best friend Fox, he works for a marketing company. So I'm like, fuck, I would not, like, my marketing would not be half as good without the help of these two. And I try to like show gratitude for that. Mm-hmm. But like when it comes to other things where I'm like, no, I know I'm really good at this thing, I'll be like, nah, this character voice, that's where I'm at.
Right.
Like, exactly. My character voice narrative is amazing, but my grammar is like, eh. So it's people, that's the other thing. People don't like it when you're comfortable with your flaws. They'll like, so when I say that I'm like weak at grammar and stuff, people will treat me as if I don't even have a first grade grasp on grammar. And I'm like, I didn't say I was illiterate. I just said me and commas are not necessarily the best of friends.
Right.
Like, there's a big gap there. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that people, if you insult yourself, then it's like, oh, you're so honest and like good. And then if you compliment yourself, it's like, oh my gosh, you're arrogant. And it's like, you can do both. You can be aware of your strengths and weaknesses. I know my weaknesses, and I'll be the first to be like, oh my gosh, my anxiety is a mess, and I overanalyze everything, and sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. Like I'm totally comfortable doing that, but I will also be like, yeah, I'm really good at marketing and running a business, and I'm really good at character creation. It's it's just about knowing yourself, and sometimes people are not comfortable, but I think that's typically a reflection of their own, problems. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
PSA to everyone I may one day compliment. If I compliment you, please do not engage in any physical activity with me. I'm a hug you every time you compliment me now, Ninja. Be warned. I'm kidding. Yeah. And for those who don't know, I have known him for over a decade. So.
I'm not a hugger or any, like I don't really like touching. I'm not like germaphobe. Like I'm not scared of germs. I'm just not a very physically affectionate person. So when people I do the to satiate my physically affectionate friends, I do the one arm pat. That reminds me you halfway.
That reminds me of yesterday or earlier today, I don't remember, when you had to vent about something and I just put that gif of that awkward. Yeah. And I was like, I know you don't like hugs. So.
Yeah, I was like, I'm having a bad anxiety day, and you were like, here, because you don't like hugs. I'm like, I feel so seen.
See, I even try to be considerate in gif.
I love it. We're here for it. Yes. Ninja hugged you at the airport without being coerced.
You did. That is true. It's because I myself am a hugger, and physical affection is one of my things, but I'm not at all offended if other people don't want to, but I do appreciate when people do. If you ever need a hug, I volunteer. Yes.
I volunteer as tribute.
thankfully all of my children are like very used to it. So like they'll come in the room or they'll something I'm like, "Can I have a hug?" And they're like usually will say yes, but sometimes they do say no, and then I have to be like, "Okay, you other child, come here."
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
The
that.
only people, I say people loosely. The only people I'm comfortable being physically affectionate with are Cliff and Buttercup.
Aw.
So I don't know. That's just, I'm weird, but I'm okay with it.
No, it's like Tabby's similar. She doesn't like hugging a lot of people, so some people just don't, and it's fine.
Mhm.
I can admit internally when I'm good at something, but when people put the spotlight on my talents, I freak out and freeze up. So I can admit when I'm good at things. I mean, that's fair. Not everybody likes to be in the spotlight. Like y'all saw Michael earlier when he just
Yeah.
froze up, and it's like he's cute. He tries. It's like he desperately wants to be, but he's not there yet.
Oh. I don't need hugs. Hugs shorten my life expectancy. I can relate to that so hard. I literally remember the first time Cliff hugged me because I was so like, what do I do?
Just
I remember it.
hands.
We were in a Toys R Us and he threw his arms around me. We were sword fighting with Christmas wrapping paper. This is when we were dating, obviously. Back in the day. I was 20 years old, guys. I was a baby.
Right, I'm not a hug person. Whenever someone in my family wants to hug me, I just give them a gentle pat on their like, "What was that?" "That was my hug, bitches."
Yeah, it's just the arm around and the pat. That's what I do. It is my compromise, bitches.
I think that I know somebody who was like that too. My son used to be a big hugger, but he has a hard time showing affection these days.
Sorry, I'm laughing at
Toys R
something.
Us is not a place that encourages hugs. I'm sorry that. Okay. All right, so we are approaching 3 hours, so we should probably go ahead and wind down. I should probably go like get some rest because I'm supposed to record a video or two tonight.
Oh,
We'll
shit.
see. Well, we'll see because like that was the plan, and then I woke up with a really bad migraine. So I don't know if I'm
Oh,
going to be able
Brain.
to.
Thank you, Brain. We love you.
Right. All right, so Jenna, go ahead and tell the people who you are because we didn't do an intro. So...
My name is Jenna Moreci. I am a cyborg hellbent on destroying the planet. That's not true. I am, now that we're at the end, I'm like, well, who am I? Who am I?
We've been on a journey tonight. I don't even know anymore.
I'm an Aquarius, guys. I'm a good at writing characters. Okay, so I'm a dark fantasy romance author. I've got a series going on called the Savior series. The first book in the series is The Savior's Champion. Second book in the series is The Savior's Sister. They are both #1 bestsellers on Amazon, which means they are amazing and awesome, and a lot of people enjoyed them, so you should buy them. Oh, also, because I have no problem talking about my compliments, The Savior's Champion was voted as one of the best books of all time by Book Depository. That's going to be on my fucking tombstone. That like made my life. That book was there next to fucking Jane Austen books and like
Yes,
Dante's
we
Inferno,
love
which
it.
is one of my favorite books of all time. So you guys, one of the best books of all time. I wrote it. Anywho, sorry, that
And
just like made my
and the
life.
audiobook went like bestseller in less than a week. I don't remember how many days, but it was less than 7.
I think it was 2 days. But very, very exciting stuff. So check out my books. The third book in the series, The Savior's Army, is in the works. I'm working on it. I'm doing my best. And also, I have a YouTube channel where I give writing advice with a heavy dose of sarcasm and dick jokes. So I'm sure it's linked in the description below. Check me out if you are not yet familiar, and buy my books because I need money to survive.
Also, the Savior Sister audiobook is in the
works. It's in the works. It's in the works. Yes. It is in the works, and I am announcing who the audiobook narrator is in my upcoming newsletter. So join my newsletter so you can find out.
All right, and let's see how much I remember to say about myself. I like had a checklist for Jenna, but Myself. Right. Welcome to my channel. I am Writing Mom Samantha L. Nasset, where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host these live streams where we either do write-ins and we get a lot of sprinting done, or we do Let's Talks, which is similar to today, except there is a specified topic. And then I don't know if we're going to do any more chat and chills. Probably. It was a lot of fun. When? Who knows? I have a sample of my writing on my website since I did unpublish my 2 novels. It's called Till Pizza Do Us Part. It may cause pizza cravings.
It will absolutely cause pizza cravings. Even just thinking about it, I think like, oh, pizza. I hate you, Sam. That's not true. I don't hate Sam.
It's okay. You can hate me as a writer.
Yes. Okay.
And fine. I post new videos on Wednesdays. So I think that is everything. You can sign up for my newsletter where I also talk about things and updates and share stuff that I enjoy, from like video games like Stardew Valley to Ritz crackers. It's pretty random.
We love to see it.
And next week I will have Sophie and Matt, who are 2 of my other regulars. It's gonna be Sophie's birthday. We're gonna have the fish timer for sprints.
We're so excited. Happy birthday, Sophie. Happy almost birthday.
Right. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody on the rewatch. And is that it? Did I get everything? If I didn't, Fox will yell at me.
Like the stream.
Yes.